All right. Let me know when you start recording.
The recording started right before you said that, and I immediately got ducked on. How dare you duck?
Anyways, before I start muting people's soundboard privileges, uh, for one free inspiration, who wants to handle recap?
Not me this week.
Okay. I can try. There's gonna be some things that I'm gonna space out on, but for the most part, we traveled. We had a conversation with we were traveling to oh gosh, no, wait, hold on. How did we start the episode or the session? Was it on the road or was it in the city?
It was in the city walking to the road.
Okay, okay. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't start it. I started so confidently. I can tell you about a chunk of the episode, I guess, not all of it.
Alright, in that case, at the very beginning of the episode, we started off with our characters all waking up in the morning, as they all do, everybody waking up at different times, because for some reason it's an ongoing joke that the druid who is in tune with nature has no idea what the fuck time it is. Um, we had our characters do some very brief discussions, grab a bite to eat, and then basically immediately head off towards the exterior to meet up with. Sorry, hold on, brain fogged. I'm very bad at that. Sally's older brother. What was his name?
Hakeem?
Hakeem. Thank you. I'm very personally bad at names. I'm gonna put that on the record where everybody can fucking see it. Very bad at names. Okay, so we met up with Hakeem, who had another individual of a clerical sort with him, as well as a couple of dwarves who were manning sleds. After some brief deliberation on who's riding with whom, we ended up with Beale, the cleric, and Barnaby on one sled, Jason, um, and the two siblings, Anella and Zulfra, on the other sled. And Veritas got yoked to the sled with again name. Thank you one more time.
Hakeem?
Hakeem. Hakeem. I will get this. I will get this. He's an important character. It's going to take me time. To which Veritas proceeded to tell Hakeem he was doing his job wrong. Hakeem took it as a challenge. Uh, we also got to see Anella and Beale and Barnaby go and hang out with the wolf pups, the dogs. Call them what they are. They're sled dogs, but they look like they've got wolf blood in them. I remember that because very important dogs. Uh, Barnaby used a speak with animal spell and just became the dog's best friends. Went hunting with them and everything. Beale rode one for a short period of time. Anella was just happy to pet dogs.
Yep.
Zulfra was, well, being Zulfra, pretty somewhere between unamused and uninterested. Just wanted to get work done. Was only interested in the mission, on which we had grilled Hakeem uh, before heading out on the sleds. Next day, Veritas asked Zulfra and Anella to assist him in proving his point. Anella got Veritas introduced to the dogs, and Zulfra gave his patrons, his spirits, blessing. Using this, Veritas showed Hakeem that he was doing the job of leader, at least in some part, incorrectly. Now, how much he took away from that, it's on him. After that, um, we saw Barnaby getting along very well with the pups because the night before he had took the entire pack out hunting, and was very successful to the point of gaining favor within the group that had hired us for this job. We got to the city, to which Sally was almost immediately imprisoned, with the entire party stepping between her and the town's leadership. Pretty big for the team to do. Not gonna lie, very proud of everyone. On that, we made an agreement with him that Sally was not to leave the area until all of this was resolved.
I would like to make a correction.
Please do.
Beale didn't stand in between the two. She was like 30 feet back preparing to cast a spell.
Oh right, you were just being a sneaky little shit, as you should.
I'd also like to point that I never stepped forward because there's literally no space left to do anything.
Oh right, yeah. Everybody stepped between the two, and you're just sitting there like, I'm too big for this. There you go. After that, I do believe we got to the point of basically getting to know our surroundings, getting to know the town a little bit, getting our lodging, and some basic information from two individuals. Both of them were the fathers of the missing children. Verdus played a song, and I'm pretty sure that's about it. Does anyone want to do what they did before that? Because I know everybody had something to do, but I had some moments where I had to get up and do some stuff. So I am missing time between that area.
Shrug emoji.
Was there not really much else done while I was up doing what I had to do?
I don't remember.
Does anybody remember? Oh,
I'm
boy.
trying to think. I think we were good.
Oh, okay. So
I think you covered it. Yeah.
I did watch the recording, but it's been a few days because, well, I didn't have anything else to do, and normally I do it while I was working, but I didn't work for the last 2 days, so yeah, no, I think that covers it. Did I miss fucking anything? Other than Barnaby handing Verdus that axe, that was pretty fucking hilarious. That did happen. Anything?
All right.
Anybody? Okay.
You did talk to the fathers of the children?
I did cover that.
Oh, okay. And otherwise, I think you've covered everything. Take an inspiration point.
Uh, can I give it to Anila?
Yeah.
They were the one that initially started, and I just kept rambling.
No, I think you should take. I only had I started off with.
Hey man, I'm a
lot
bard.
of
What am I
spunk.
gonna do with it?
All right, I'll take it then.
If you want to load it to me later, that's fine. But you just take your inspiration.
I'll gladly mark that. There it is.
Yeah, I don't need it or want it. My bad luck is Verdus's bad luck is my amusement. Alrighty.
All right. So, I am going to start. Jason, you wake up to the boy from the counter from last night quietly shaking you. Dawn hasn't broken yet, but from the light that is coming through the windows, you think it will break soon. He whispers to you, "Hey, if it's not too much trouble for you, could you come out to the lobby for a minute? The director wanted to see you before he left." Also, everyone except Jason, please roll alertness to see if you wake up at the sound of a human voice.
Oh, I have one little thing I would like to do
Did you say roll perception? What you say to roll again?
before the morning.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, in that case, please let me know what you want to do.
Beale, in the wee hours of the morning before really anything. We'll sneak out and go try and
Okay.
find a Sally.
Oh, all right. Where are you heading to?
After leaving the room, she'll just kind of ask, uh, just one of the local workers, and just, so, do you know who Sally is?
Pretty much everyone knows who Sally is.
Okay.
It's you get the feeling that it's been the talk of the town that she came back after a year.
Fair. Do you know where her house is?
They will point to the medium-sized house that is next to what serves as a city center.
Okay.
Like
Uh,
one of them will ask you, "Why are you asking us this? Like at so early in the morning?"
oh, I was a butt, and I want to apologize to her.
They will give one of them will give you a strange look, but then the other will nod and says, "You better do it in the morning, though. No one likes being woken up in the middle of the night, even if it's to get apologized at."
Well, she'll just have to deal with it.
Yeah. So these two people just walk off while like talking to each other in a low voice. One of them's going like, "Sally's like new friends from out of the like settlement are really strange."
Yeah.
Yep. So do you make your way to the house?
Yep.
Okay, it's a second-story house. From the outside, it looks well maintained. It's red brick, white roof. The door is closed and locked, obviously.
Is there windows?
Yep.
She's going to start peeking in windows to try and find Sally's room.
Okay. High or low?
It's a 2-story building.
No, I mean like dice.
Oh.
High or low?
High.
All right. So you don't find Sally's room at first. You do, however, in one of the rooms that you look into, you do find Hakim. He's actually awake and at his desk. And he's writing something like under under a lamplight. You actually see him turn and talk in a low voice to someone that you can't see because you're peeking into the window, so you don't have a lot of vision. But unless you're going to try and linger and find out, it's too low for you don't have too much vision to look too further into it. Are you going to move on and try to find Sally?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, GM. They are a kobold. They have dark vision.
Oh, I meant like he's peeking through the window, so it's like
I don't see who the
okay,
person is.
Okay.
yeah. So you like you don't want if he's like totally at the window, then he's also going to be seen because there's like the room is lighted.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep. So will you move on, or are you going to try and stay and find out what's going on?
If I can roll a stealth, then yes.
Right. Please roll stealth.
Okay, 19, not bad.
Yeah, he's a fighter. No, he's not gonna beat none. Okay, I wasn't going to do this, but give me a second.
Don't mind me. Theo is a
So-
bitch.
Yeah. So you stealth and you creep closer to the window and you peek in. And the fact that you're a kobold means that you don't actually have to put your whole head into the window. So you actually see who Hakim is conversing with. He is someone with a long shape-shifting, color-shifting blade strapped to his back. You have likely, not quite sure because you're from the mainland, never seen this race before, so please roll Arcana. Uh, 16, would that be enough? Oh yeah, I think that would be enough because you're from the mainland. All right. You think this is a Astra plane race called Gitzerai. You don't with 16. You don't know much more than that, other than the fact of their name, and that they make their home in the plane of Limbo. You hear the stranger talking, and it's in a very gravely voice. You have to focus to hear what he's saying. But I'm just going to let this go because you rolled stealth and you're right outside the window. He says, "No, that is still marking flesh was a rising born. It was neither bartered nor bought. Your ways are strange and not known to me."
Ew.
And you and he and then you hear Hakim answer something, but Hakim actually has his back turned to you, so you can't actually make out what he's saying because his voice doesn't travel as well. And then the Gitzerai answers, "Know that, and yet know that your words have reached us, and the sons of Zertimon shall not turn away from a people that seek to know themselves." A moment of silence more, and this time you do hear Hakim's voice. After a sigh, he says, "Karashwider, the generosity of your people honor us. I shall depend on you if all this fails tonight, and your word." And then the Gitzerai answers, "Ours shall be as binding a promise as the pronouncement of the two skies." At this point, since you have been staying in the window for quite a while, I'm going to ask you to roll stats again.
Sure. Okay, 20.
All right, no problem. Then Hakim's going to ask him, "And the ships, would they be sufficient?" And then the Gitzerai shakes his head and says, "Not at this late hour, not at such short notice. But you did know that, didn't you? You entered into this agreement knowing that if things fail, there will be blood." And the Gitzerai actually gets up and says, "Since we are now in agreement, I will talk to my people, see what could be done." And Hakim just nods and says, and it goes back to writing. He doesn't even say goodbye, just like he does not think that it's needed. And if you stay a little more to look into the window, the Gitzerai has opened the door left, closing it behind him. The lamplight is flickering, and you see Hakim marking down what seems to be a list of items and numbers. You're not close enough to the window to see what kind of numbers these are.
Okay. Okay. Beale has some pretty distinct ideas. And after that, she will go and try and hunt down Sally proper.
Okay. Great. This is a problem with having a stealth character among the players. Anyway.
Oh,
I'm a sorcerer. I'm not
I-
even a rogue.
I'm laughing because I'm also a stealth character. I just ain't done anything
Yeah,
with
like-
it yet.
Yeah. Anyway, now that anyway, so you are going to move on. So it takes you a while to find Sally's room because you rolled like low on the first like chance die. You find it actually at the attic, at the like smallest like window slit. You find out that like Sally really likes colorful pillows and dolls because it's like strewn everywhere. It's a very chaotic room. You see Sally asleep hugging what looks like a body pillow that looks like a husky.
She has a husky body pillow.
Yep.
Respect. And Beale is just going to tap 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 tap.
Okay. It's been a long day for her. Let's see. I will see if she wakes up. Yep. All right. She rolls halfway, says 5 more minutes.
Tap tap tap
Please.
tap 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 tap.
Okay. After a moment, rolls again, rubs the sleep out of her eyes. Looks around. Doesn't have dark vision, doesn't see Beale. Tries to find the light. Is it the damn crows again? She mutters. And turns on the light. Then sees you.
Beale's face is like smushed up against the window.
Alright, she jumps. She approaches and then she whispers, "What are you doing here? Wait, this is the 3rd floor. This is active. You're gonna fall." And then she opens the window and tries to pull you in.
Beale would allow it. If only for the sake of, I don't know how to get down from here now.
Okay. Alright, so brushes the snow off your scales, goes and says, like, gives you a warm blanket and says, "Hey, what's up?"
I had the wrong first impression about you, and I want to apologize for that.
Oh, so you came all this way at night when it's snowing so you could apologize to me?
Yes.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry I made you come all this way. Do you want a cup of hot chocolate? Here. And then, like, gives him the husky pillow and gives her the husky pillow and goes and makes a cup of hot chocolate for her.
Beale will accept the hot chocolate.
Right. Crouches down on the bed beside Beale and says, "What is it?"
I was really mean to you. And you didn't deserve that. I misunderstood the type of person your brother is.
I don't remember you being mean to me, so if you were, it's probably something really slight. Uh, Besides, I get told off by a lot of people, so, it's not like I'm doing this all that well, so I could totally understand if people disapprove of me. I don't think you need to worry about that too much. I'm
Shouldn't. You're not a bad person.
Well, it means a lot to me to hear that from the kindest and the cutest kobold on the continent of Snowfrostia. She
I'm-
smiles a little.
Probably one of 5 that are still alive.
Oh,
Oh, mine is just because they freeze to death.
sorry I brought that up.
She just shrugs. I don't know him.
But I make sure that you don't get anywhere cold around me, though I think your friend Veritas is doing a plenty good job on his own.
He is. He's taking care of me.
And you're worth it. And to be fair, I think you're also taking care of him, though you might not know it.
He's weird. But fun. And nice to be around.
That's what human connections are all about. You can't choose the family you're born to, but you can choose the people you will spend your life with.
That's true enough. And yeah,
Alright, so now that you've gotten that off your chest, do you want me to open the front doors or do you want to stay until it's light out? It is still a little dark outside.
oh, I don't mind the darkness. But I don't think your brother would appreciate me being here.
Yeah, technically I'm under house arrest, so fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have the best impression of my brother, do you?
He's no, I don't. He's well, proven to me that he's not one to be. How should I put this? He's trying his best, and his best is not really the best for the community. Or the people of the continent in general.
I am hardly the one to say. I never involve myself in the workings of the settlement, so who knows what might be behind his decisions. Do give him the benefit of the doubt if you can, though. I know I can't really ask this of you, since you are a stranger to him and even to me a little, but it's a harsh enough word already without, passing judgment on some people a little too early.
I don't disagree with that sentiment. It's just, he's shown to me to be flawed in his, approaches and making deals with people that he should not have.
What do you mean?
For the sake of brevity, Beale will repeat everything that she learned in
Everything that she learned during the conversation on the road, or everything she learned today?
overhearing.
Oh, so like today.
Yeah, like just a
Oh.
few moments ago.
Okay, so Sally shakes her head and she says, I saw, if you mean the Gitzerizer, I saw him, but I did not speak to him. I believe he's a guest at this house. I have no idea what that conversation is about. My brother didn't tell me. I trust him, though. If he has made this decision, it has to be for the good of the people. I have to believe this because you understand. He is my brother.
I understand your connection with him and belief in his... I don't think he's doing something bad. He might be doing something bad for the right reasons, if that makes sense.
A little. I'm afraid I'm just a simple fighter. I don't have your wisdom, I'm afraid, she says with a weak smile.
Oh. Yeah, wisdom. No, I've just seen a lot of things.
That makes me a little sad. You're a little too young to have seen a lot of things.
Well, that's just how it played out.
If we can survive this and continue traveling together, I'll talk to Veritas and maybe we'll find lots of beautiful new things to show you, and it will make up for everything else that you've seen that made you have such wisdom at such a young age. I promise.
She's just gonna shrug. It's a nice thought.
That you don't really believe in.
Well, I'm hopeful you can prove yourself true.
Yeah, she looks thoughtful at that, but does that bring this up further? Is this the end of the conversation? Are you going to leave while it's still dark?
Yeah.
All right, and just making sure you did not tell her that Hakim knows Octavia or has been informed about this from the beginning. You've just told her about the Githzerai thing, right?
Yeah, just from
Okay.
the
Right.
yeah.
That is it. So you make your way back through the dark. That actually means that you come about an hour and a half a bit further down. I don't know whether you fall asleep immediately afterwards.
Yeah, she'll kind of immediately go back to sleep.
All right. With your stealth check, I doubt anyone else wakes up to see you quietly creep in.
Oh, there's a chance. You might want to roll it to see if Barnaby sees you.
Oh yeah, maybe. I mean, you want to roll just in case?
Sure.
Give Barnaby that chance. He's a very wise owl. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Barnab-
if I roll a 7.
Yeah.
Guess what? I ain't see shit.
Yeah. Barnaby would probably wake up and like just kind of poke his head out the door to see like what's going on. Why is he hearing noise?
Hello.
Oh, and just another room.
Just had to use the bathroom.
Oh, okay. If she's not coming to this room, he's just gonna close the door.
That is the worst lie, and Barnaby's just like, that makes sense. It just
Yeah,
goes
no,
right back
that
in.
for him that makes sense. You gotta get up to go pee, and it just happens, you know. He tiredly goes back to sleep.
All right. So, I guess Barnaby, Beale goes back to sleep. Things proceed as usual. It is about a half hour before dawn. Actually, almost dawn is breaking, but not quite. By the time you get the memo from the kid, Jason, are you going to go out?
He resists the urge to turtle into his bed. He gets himself up, gets himself together to a degree, and then will walk out very cautiously, and nervously.
All right. Anyone who wants to wake up for this can roll an alertness check.
Perception. It's perception in this game.
Yep, perception check.
I'm probably just gonna stay asleep. Let's see. No shit.
Wait, you can all be awake and then go back to sleep. You don't necessarily need to be fully awake.
That's fair.
Wow, everyone's like super alert. I guess people are nervous after what's going to happen today.
Oh shit. That was...
I think at this point it's because of Jason. He just clanks his way all the way. No, he was sleeping. He wouldn't be wearing armor.
That and his armor is leather until he can get better equipment.
Okay. All right. So somehow you managed to rouse pretty everyone, Jason. But it depends on the people. Do they want to keep quiet and pretend to be asleep? Do they want to get up?
Barnaby's like opening his eyes and just looking over at Jason and the kid, and just sort of blinks, but doesn't say anything. He's just like curious what's going on.
Gives-
The The kid apologizes in a low voice for waking you guys up.
Jason, what is it that you're doing?
Gives 2 thumbs up. Does not explain further and exits.
I'm betting he has to pee too. And Barnaby closes his eyes.
Has the kid left?
The kid is about to leave, looking at you apologetically.
You're fine. Thank you for letting us know. Enjoy breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, the boy creeps out. He's a little unnerved because he thought he was being very quiet and you guys just all walk up. He's a little odd. He thinks it's because you're adventurers. You can sense it when people come close to you, even when you're dead asleep. Yeah. So he's very impressed.
Beal is gonna wait like 30 seconds and then open up the door to check if he left, actually.
Yep.
Okay. Again, for the sake of brevity, Beal reiterates everything she learned about the Githzerai
To the group.
to the group.
Okay.
Shakes his head. Of course. Alright. Look at you being recon. Just, you're absolutely just the best, Beal.
I got bored.
Understandable. Which means that we probably shouldn't let that idiot go there by himself.
Nope.
And the sneakiest of us here is probably Barnaby, despite me and you both being adept at it. He's also very good at hearing things, isn't that right, Barnaby?
Well, I guess I'm not getting back to sleep.
No, and I'm sorry. I know it's asking you to do something, but I'll pay you back.
You're poor. I doubt you could.
Oh, come on, I'm good for it. He says
not.
jokingly, and just, good old pat on the back. Just, well, you know what you're doing, and you're one of the best at it, so, just go do your thing, Birdman. You get a bardic inspiration to be used in the next hour.
Barnaby tiredly grats his stuff and starts heading out the door.
If Barnaby goes out, she will soon find out that, both Hakim and Jason is at the lobby. They didn't, the boy wasn't, calling Jason out to, Hakim's house. Hakim had come himself. Yep. So you just have to stand behind the door if that is what you want. If all you want to do is listen in, I'm going to give you advantage to stealth because you're not looking in. You're just listening, and neither of them are particularly aware of being overheard.
What's that?
It's a D6.
D6.
If you want to use it for stealth, but you might need it for the perception roll.
You
Yeah.
don't
I'll
really.
take that.
Yeah, 20 is enough. Okay, so Jason, now that you enter the lobby where the boy has led you to, you do see Hakim Jeffries, the director. He's wearing, even though it's barely dawn, he's in his heavy armor already. Kind of reminds you how hermit crabs drag their shell around everywhere because they're afraid they might be vulnerable otherwise. Something that perhaps you understand since a lot has happened to you in the last few weeks. He actually turns to you and says, Mr. Stig Anderson, please forgive my discourtesy in asking to see you so early. I did not think you would wish me to broach this particular subject while your colleagues were around. Please take a seat.
The urge to turtle just keeps. It still exists, but he sits down.
All right. He pulls a second chair, also sits down, leans over to you, and says, "Tell me, what is your involvement in this whole sorry mess?"
Well, it's a bit of a story.
I would
So-
expect so, he says, and as he says this, he spins a sensory stone in his palm, and it's a carbon copy of what you had, but this one is unbroken.
dark, so it may be a little hard for anybody to see, but Jason goes a little bit pale as he's just. When your sister came to Ironwood, what was it, a year ago, roughly? Um, you know, she joined the guards. We got to know each other. I joined partially because of my father, but also didn't really give a last name because of my father. That's me though. We got to know each other. Shared drinks. And then I had a bit of a gambling problem. Finally got off it, but then wanted to do something nice. Got back into it. But unfortunately incurred some debts. Nervous laughter.
Hakim nods and says, "I know this far."
So yes. 1 second, I actually need a drink. So, one day, about a month or two ago, they say that they're needing your sister for something. They said that if I just lured her someplace, they would handle the rest. They could erase my gambling debts. I told them, no, I would not do that. And then they reiterated with a bit more of a threat than anything else. And I'll admit, I lost a bit of a brain cell for a second. And I tried to run out, go warn Sally. They knocked me out and decided as revenge they would Is there a drink around here somewhere?
Actually, Hakim was silent all this while. Then he gets up, goes to a glass cabinet in the corner, comes back, pours you and himself what looks like a shot of whiskey, downs his in one gulp, and passes you yours.
Yeah, he just very shakily takes it. His hand just is shaking the entire time. Drinks it. They did some awful things. And I kind of learned some things I'd rather wish I could forget. Namely, how many bones are in a human's hand. And they took her someplace. They threw me back out on the streets. A month later, she shows up in a prison. No memory of what happened, and I was ordered to keep my mouth shut on pain of having it ripped off. I eventually hit fuck it. I am sorry for my dog. Well, I eventually hit fuck it, and disobeyed while they were in transit. Went to find them, and I tried to give them some information on some missing events. I've been with them ever since.
So Hakim, who's been silent all this while, just spinning this memory stone in his hand, says, "This is the proof of life that I requested from Lady Octavia. I believe her exact words were, 'Does it count if she's alive at the end of it?' Do you think so?"
I mean, she's still alive, obviously.
Yes. And I was told from Octavia again that you have been working for her for over 2 years, I believe. Is this true?
Did you repeat that one? I accidentally hit a button. And it dropped me from the call.
Oh, okay, so I repeat the last one. So I was told from Lady Octavia that you have been working for her for over 2 years. Is this true?
Work. I've never directly worked with them. I mean, a Greek guard, with the few exceptions in Ironwood, does a job for them at some point. Usually we don't directly meet them. Usually it's just stand guard here. Don't interfere with this. Don't arrest this person or throw them upside down in a cage.
Nevertheless, you've met her, and more than once. And Lady Octavia, from what I know, is very transparent in her wants and needs. I do know that you're only 18, Mr. Stig Anderson, but I do have to ask, how could you have been so naive as to not realize that she was baiting you on purpose? Or did you think that it was sheer chance that you were given this task and it was put in the purview of one underling that was publicly known to be a friend to the target?
He just stays silent at that, very nervously.
He pauses for about half a minute. If you do not respond, he's gonna go on. He says, "Absolutely, she was watching you, and you fell right into it. Gave her exactly what she wanted, an excuse to torment you, to make a plaything of Salomena. And at the end of it all, at the end of this memory stone, you walked out of that room without a scratch. So you weren't the one that paid for your indiscretion in playing into her hands. Where were you?"
Looks like he's about to say something, but just doesn't.
He's going to give you a chance to respond. He just gets up, goes to the glass cabinet, gets you and him another shot of whiskey. Patiently waits for you to have your say.
Just trying to find the words to say something, but somehow can't.
He looks at you. He's going to roll insight on you. How would that work?
1d20 plus. Do you have a modifier for him?
He is high. He's put points into insight. He's a leader. So probably +4. Why is 15 enough? Why aren't you answering him? What's going on in your mind right now?
His mind is bouncing back and forth between. To be fair, he did try to fight back a little bit. It did cost him circulation in his hands, but also it's the thing of technically not wrong. It's the thing of survivor's guilt, basically.
Yeah.
That's my correct
So
terminology.
you get the feeling that basically what Hakim is saying, that you played into her hands by trying to get Sally to warn Sally. You should have done nothing, since she was obviously watching to see you betray her on purpose. So fighting back or not is not necessarily the point here. He's saying, you basically played into her hands. And you think perhaps that is the reason Hakim did nothing, despite the fact that he also knew what was going on. But Hakim has enough. Hakim watches you for a long while, and then he actually says, after a sigh, "At least you're honest, Mr. Stig Anderson. I give you that. Do you mind if I give you a word of advice?"
I think you're gonna give it to me here regardless.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you speak a little louder?
He says, I think you're gonna give it to me regardless.
He actually shakes his head and says, "Not necessarily. It is my opinion that young men often have to learn the word by themselves, and that they rarely heed the words of those who have gone the same path before them. There is much of my young self that I see in you, and I will give you this advice and I think you will find it useful, but if you do not wish to hear it, you may go now. I will not stop you." Well, he's 29. You might know this or not, but he's 18. Yeah, Jason is 18.
He'll just nod. Hear it? Sure.
All right. Then Hakim says something you also don't seem to realize. If it was not Sally, if it was not you, Octavia would have just found someone else. Likely someone else in the party, or anyone would have done to amuse herself with. That is the nature of the Damphirs. My sister understands this and has never once blamed you. Otherwise, she would absolutely have not asked you to come with her. And that unwavering trust of hers in you, undeserving or not, is the reason you do not have to answer to me today. After all, while political considerations may have stopped me from lopping off Octavia's head after having watched this recording, I would have had no such qualms about yours. In light of this, I suggest you find a better use of your time than beating yourself up. Spend the time living up to the trust that is placed in you by Sally, by your colleagues, by everyone. Not everyone gets a second chance to make things right. You have it. Do not waste it. And that is all he says. If you have anything to answer, say it now or he's gonna get up.
Just gives a thumbs up. his signature move.
Alright, then he gets up, says, Good. When the others wake, let them know they are expected at the northern mine entrance by noon. And he's changed back into his professional mood. And you think it's part of the reason is because Don has broken by now. And it's work hours for him. So he can't really be Sally's brother anymore. Now he has to be the director. And as he heads towards the exit, you hear him something growl something under his breath. I will give you a perception roll, but the difficulty is not going to be low. And you can roll it too, Barnaby.
I'm gonna roll
Alright.
that. I can roll
No,
that.
that is enough.
No, okay.
Yeah, Jason, you don't hear this. Barnaby, you hear this. As Hakim goes off, he's muttering, "Don't have the faintest idea what Sally sees in this guy." And then he leaves. Alright, that is it. And it is dawn, and you guys have a chance to all wake up and face a new day. And I guess, Jason, you move to the door. Barnaby, are you going to stay behind the door? Or are you going to run away? Pretend you haven't heard anything?
Barnaby just puts on a smile and just waits for the door to open.
All right. Yeah. What do you do, Jason? You open the door. Barnaby's staring right at you.
Perception to see if he noticed Barnaby, because he's a nervous wreck right now. Maybe mildly inebriated. Am I good to do so?
Well, Barnaby's not going to be moving out of the way, so... Oh, yeah.
Corey. I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, both of you.
16. So...
Yeah. Barnaby's not hiding.
Oh, jeez.
He's just standing there. Oh! Hello, Jason.
You overheard that, didn't you?
Why don't we go upstairs? You look like you could sit down and rest a bit more. Come on.
Just... Yeah, he goes upstairs, sits down.
And Barnaby will close the door behind them and just smile to the group. What a lovely conversation was had. Do you want to tell them, Jason, the short version? Or should I just say everything now?
We're expected at that place at noon.
Gonna have to kill him.
No. You don't have to kill Jason, and Hakim's
Okay.
just being a protective big brother of sorts.
That's a series of words to describe the man.
I think for right now, we should focus at the job of hand, and then once we're a bit on the way... Oh, that's right, we still also have to talk to the widow as well. Before we get to the mine. I nearly forgot. Though, Jason, I guess if you don't mind, I could just spill it now.
We're kind of aggressive, please don't.
All right, well, let's just focus on the task at hand. Let's speak to the widow, get to the mine, and then... a little later, perhaps. That all right with the rest of you?
It's fine by me. Just, Jason, I just want you to know whatever it is, if it's important that you don't tell us, that's fine. However, know that I'm pretty sure no one here has any right to judge you. Especially myself.
I do.
Beal.
I'm joking.
Okay.
Mostly.
Beal.
Okay.
Right. So we should grab something to eat and then get to work. We need to head down there as soon as possible. Get everything started. Get a good grasp of the situation. And solve this peacefully so I can rub it in that man's face.
Good idea.
And, you know, save the kids too, I guess.
Also a good idea.
Yeah, no, anybody can tell he's trying to make a joke and trying to be light in this situation, but things continue to go south.
So, why do you think he's made that deal with the Gith?
Well, if he said something about boats, I'm assuming they want the hell out of here. Which,
Yeah.
yeah, no shit. I want out of here too, but
I don't think there's a person on this continent that doesn't want to be out of here.
I don't know. I think
This-
I look
This
over.
continent sucks.
Yeah, I look over there at the Goliaths. Hey, would you guys like to go somewhere a mite bit warmer with bigger palm trees, more wildlife, more animals, or would you rather stay here where everything's cold and dead, but you've been living here for your entire lives? To Zolfra and Anella.
Anila will think about that for a moment, and then yeah, I feel maybe a change of scenery would be good. Begrudgingly.
I don't really care either way, as long as we're not sitting in place too long.
Okay, I am pleasantly surprised. Thank you very much for answering against what I thought you were going to say. Good job.
I still want to find out what happened to my kin, but even among kin, we would never want to linger in one place. We moved. Staying in one place feels against my instincts, as I'm sure it is the same with my sister.
And here I thought nomads just settled in one place and never did move around. And then he heads downstairs to the lobby.
Alright, you find the breakfast laid out at the lobby, a pot of coffee.
Anila will go crazy. Oh. Yeah, my microphone's not working. Sorry. Anila will go crazy for the pot of coffee.
Yeah. Black coffee, no sugar, no nothing, and whatever there is for breakfast.
Water with ice.
You're a monster in this degree weather. You're a monster. You're like that weird kid that goes to McDonald's in the middle of a snowstorm and orders a fucking ice cream, you weirdo.
I do that in real life, so yes, I have.
I thought you were
know,
going to say that the kid who travels in the middle of the snowstorm wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
I do that, so I can't judge.
Yep. I'm pretty sure. I think quite a few of us are that kid.
Yeah, okay, look, just
The
because we're a
only
group
water
of
the
weirdos
water
doesn't mean I
fills
can't
the
call a
spot.
weirdo a weirdo.
That's true, that's true. But yes, and they'll probably just have a small dish of food with that refreshing ice.
Right. The food is hearty minus food. It's good quality, but not very luxurious. A little too short on spices, a little too bland, more for practical purposes.
Oh, do I have like Is it prestidigitation that can
Yep.
flavor food?
And Bill's got it. Just
Yep.
elbow Bill. Like, hey, can you
Yeah.
can you fix this? It tastes a little bland.
Tastes fine to me.
Bill, you have magic. You could make this taste like steak if you wanted.
She blinks one eye, then the other.
Beal, did you not realize that spell you cast can make anything taste like basically anything? Oh no.
She blinks one eye, then the other.
Oh, oh no. Oh no. If you rub those two brain cells in your head together and figure this out, you'll just constantly be eating everything, won't you? I should stop talking.
Speaking of talking, do we want to go visit the widow? Try to get
Yes.
information from her? Okay. I know, Anila, you wanted to talk to her. Did anyone else want to talk to that poor woman? Well, if not, then I'll join you.
Wonderful.
Enjoy your trip.
All right. So, are we going to go see the widow?
I guess
Yeah.
we're going to see the widow.
Yeah, once Barnaby's gonna make sure to have some coffee if Anila didn't just drink it all.
Right. Not all of it, no.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess. Oh, go ahead.
I think Sulfur is just going to be wandering around, just taking the sights.
So, tell me who's going and who's not.
So far, I think it's just Barnaby and Anila going to the widow.
Bill will go too.
All
Oh.
right, we got a bill.
All right, Bill, Anila, Barnaby. Okay. Give me a second. I will get the result first. So, Bill, you were there with Veritas, so you recognize her as the same blacksmith that gave you
That was
goblet of beer.
that was Zulfra.
Oh, I see.
Bill was.
So none of you were. Okay, so none of you know. All right, never mind. Then she addresses you. She opens the door, says, "Kira, I was told you'd be coming by. What do you want to know?" She seems not surprised at all. Brock probably told her you'd be coming by today.
Well, if I remember correctly, Brock said that you might have some basic information, maybe something that we weren't given before.
About Germaine, she says with a sigh.
Yes, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be blunt, but I don't want to beat around the bush.
No, it's alright. Brock already asked. I said I was okay with this. You are here to help, so
As best as we can, as I look to Barnaby and Beale, we have our best efforts going into every plan.
alright. I will trust you. Before I tell you this though, can you promise me that you won't talk about this to other people in the settlement? I don't want people to mutter and say, he was the one that started all this because he was so unstable. I still think there's more to it than, his condition deteriorating. So, I don't want him to be maligned, even in death. So could you keep this quiet for me if I tell you?
I promise. I'll look to Barnaby and Beale.
I promise.
Looks at Beale. Beale?
Beale will just shrug.
She's still waiting for a promise. You get the feeling she's not gonna speak without it.
Beale, you promise, or I take away the rock.
I like the rock.
Well, then you better promise, or you never get that rock again.
Fine. I promise.
Alright. Then she will tell you. She says after a moment, I cannot imagine what could have driven Germain to massacre our allies like you and I heard happened in the Underdark, and for such little cause. I would not have thought he was the type to choose suicide by cop, no matter how much his condition was worsening these last few weeks. I mean, he was always a heavy drinker, but these last few weeks he could barely keep sober the second he was off his shift. He kept complaining he was having flashbacks, hearing voices of his friends at Winterpine logging camp. Do you know of that place?
I'm afraid I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar.
You might know, Anila. Please roll. What would this be? Would this be history?
Yeah, I
History.
can roll a history.
Yep. You're the only person who might not know.
Oh, we might have to burn an inspiration then. A 13. Oh, I wonder if I should.
No, it's not gonna cut it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, if that doesn't cut it, I'll burn an inspiration to re-roll it.
Okay. Nope.
Well, that's how the dice are.
Okay. So she pauses a moment, looks at your puzzled expression, and says, "You haven't heard. Not surprising. Winterpine Camp has been off the map for 15 years now. Some of you, like, if you're a local, you might have heard this on the fly, even if you don't recognize the name. There was a terrible termite infestation 15 years back. Everyone who's been near Ironwood would know half the lumber was riddled with holes. And we were a logging camp. We couldn't meet our tax quota. But the Empire always collects. If not in money, then in lives. You probably could guess what happened. The Imperkrista Wyvern Riders came on Winter Swing, burning people on crosses, salting the earth, beheading the men and hanging children from rafters. There were so many corpses left in their wake that the ravens in Ironwood were sleek and fat for months afterwards. Germain and I are from that place, refugees. We fled to the Freehold. We had no other choice because the late director, Leonard Jeffries, he was the only one to accept refugees from Winterpine. All other settlements were too afraid of an Imperial blowback. He was a brave man, a hero. A pity that he never came back from the Underdark, just like how my husband will now never come back from the Underdark. And I hate to say this, but while I started a new life here and tried to put things behind me, Germain, he never could. All these years, all this 15 years, he said he would close his eyes and he would see the corpses, the burning, the children, our children, hanging from the rafters. I thought I had hoped that in time he might forget, but the last few weeks he said every time he went down to the Underdark, in the dark tunnels, he would see their faces, see them swaying in the wind. And all his friends, all his family. She actually gets up and says, I was going to keep this for myself, but if this would help you find a clue to what happened, I will give this to you. And she goes inside, comes back with what looks like a page that is ripped from a diary. And he says, I hope this sheds some light into his doubt.
Anila will take it and pass it to Barnaby because Anila cannot read.
All right, and then I guess Barnaby will read it.
It's a very simple diary. Yep. And she says, that's all I know. The voices, the place, the duration. Says, if it helps, it started about a few weeks back, before all this happened. 3, no more than 4 weeks. He said he could see them, he could hear them, and I thought this was just his flashbacks again, but maybe not.
Do you know if he had any visitors of any sort of kind, or deliveries made to him about 3-4 weeks back that you know of?
He's been pulling double shift because our current director was so pressing these days. He has not had the time to see anyone, talk to anyone much. And as far as I know, he has had no deliveries. He spent most of his hours down in the Underdark. Came here to drink, lay on the bed, fall into a deep but not restful sleep, go back again out at light of dawn. It's been, we are busy for us these last few months.
And has the director, did these, well, not the particular troubles, but has the work quota, did it start about 3-4 weeks back?
Oh, you mean the double shift?
Yes.
No. Before that, it started more than that. We've all, under Hakim, we've always had far more shifts than we used to back in his father's days, in Leonard's days. But these last 4 months, I think everyone's getting real tired. There's been accidents. More than a few people have died because of preventable mistakes. But, it is what it is. What do I know? I'm just a blacksmith.
Out of curiosity, and this will remain confidential, it will not leave this place. What are your honest thoughts about the director?
As I said, I have had nothing but greatest of respect for the former director, the one that accepted the refugees, the one that sacrificed himself to breach the Underdark and save everyone here. Without him, here would just have ended like Winterpine too. But this one, I don't know. I think perhaps it was not wise for people to make someone so young director at such a young age. She actually thinks for a moment, counts inside her head, and says, I believe he was 14 at the time. And some people said that Brock should be the one to be director because he was the one with all the experience, and he was the only one that came back from the expedition to the Underdark. But Brock himself insisted that House Jeffries should continue to hold the settlement. So people just, put this poor boy, 14-year-old boy, on a pedestal, said, "You're supposed to lead us now, give us directions," and I don't think it was good for us. I don't think it was good for him. I don't think it was good for everyone. I don't know. Some people say, let's stop, let's continue trusting him, that House Jeffries has never steered the settlement wrong. Some people say, look at the death tolls. Look at the status we are in now. Is this really the way we want to live? And I don't know. I've never been interested in politics. I just want my husband back. And then she actually stops with a sob.
Anila will hug her.
She will let you hug her.
Barnaby is going to fold up and tuck away the piece of paper. He's going to look down at Beale and just smile and then look back to the woman. Well, I'm sorry to say that we cannot bring your husband back, but I will most definitely look into things and see if I can't find some answers for you.
Can I make a request of you all? You could, of course, refuse it. This is just my request.
What is your request?
I hope, as said, ever since we left Winterpine, Germaine was going through the motions of life but was already dead inside, along with our children. I hope that in death at least, he finds the solace that he did not have in life. If you ever come across his body, will you make sure that he has a good burial, anointed with holy water, and that a cleric will say a prayer for his soul?
Do we have holy? I think we could do that. I think we have holy water, right?
She will give you, and then she will thank you guys, pass you a flask of holy water, and actually goes to the shelf and gives you 2 quivers of strange, barbed-looking crossbow bolts. I do not have much, but, what little I can give you.
Thank you. Barnaby, I think this will be best in your hands.
I do not use a crossbow, but
I mean, neither do I.
true. So, I think I know who can might be able to use this. But yes, we'll do our best to do everything we can, of course. And thank you.
She wipes a tear from her eyes and says, "Thank you so very much."
Of course. Thank you for the information and best of luck. Neela will get up and exit the blacksmith shop.
Right? You guys exit the blacksmith shop. 3 of you. And I assume you will meet up with the rest. What are the rest doing?
Can I, before we jump over, just curious, as we're walking to meet the others, Anila will turn to Barnaby and Beale and just say, "You don't get the feeling that we're being coerced to usurp a bit of power here, do you?
I don't think they intend us to take power, but rather be a deciding factor. As in, the people here, those working in a militant way, a handful of extra bodies might just be what they need to tip the balance of power when it comes to a fight. If any of this makes sense.
No, I think it does.
Well, I know one thing. I would like to have one-on-one conversations with Hakeem and Brock at some point. Preferably at night.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I had. I just wanted to pick their brain about that. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. So, what about the others? What do you do?
Hold on 1 second. Fixing that. Okay. What do you want to do? Cause it's just me and you, Zulfra, and I guess technically also, yeah, no, Jason, just the three of us.
Jason is nervously eating his food and then drink.
Just, Jason, you do realize that you don't have to be as nervous as you are, right? You have us here.
I think you should be more nervous.
You're not there, shut up. You were at the other place. You don't... I'm not going to force you to talk to me, but... talking is a better way of getting over things than sitting in silence and mulling it over and letting it hurt you further. What you went through is horrendous, yes, but you're not there anymore, you're here. And we're going to do our best to make sure that it doesn't happen to you again. You're a survivor, Jason. There's nothing wrong with that. Whether it's revenge that you want, or if you want justice, we'll be here to help you.
He
Though I
just
know-
gives thumbs up.
Yeah, just a thumbs up and just a sigh. Okay. Might not be ready to talk with us yet, but you should try in the future to be more vocal. No one here's gonna judge you. Zulfra, anything you want to do before we go cave hopping, I guess?
Not in this dwelling, can't say so. I've walked the streets a little bit, but they're pretty much barren. People are staying indoors. Nothing going on of any interest. The sooner we get moving, the sooner this dull place is far from our minds.
Even after we leave, I'm still gonna think of here.
Well, the only thing we can do is keep moving. Though, this does seem to be quite some encouragement in several different directions being aimed at us from different people. If anyone has any real thought, if there's any extra they want to do in this place, or we're just going to stick on what we agreed on?
So far, I just want to do this job, and I want this. I want Hakim to realize what he's doing.
Well, we can't tell people what. Well, we can, but there's no promise they will listen.
No, but that's why you have to show. Teaching
It's
isn't
also-
always about... Yes.
There's also people in the background planning something. The amount of encouragement being pushed forward. If we don't do something, they're likely going to act even without us intervening.
Which is why I'm going to talk them down when I can. Hakim doesn't
I'll
seem
be
like
there
that.
with my weapon when that fails.
Your strength is appreciated. But you still need to look at the value of the strength in people. Not just their
Oh, I
physical
understand the strength of people. It's unity that brings out true strength. However, I also know the stupidity of people, and their own pride can get the betterment of them.
Well,
I will look down on them until they prove me wrong. If they actually listen to your words, that'll be an interesting thing to see. If they don't, I'll be ready for the fallout. As long as those here that actually have meaning to me survive, I will be alright with that.
well, hopefully one day I can show you the worth of others. True worth in people you don't even know yet. Maybe one of these days.
Won't
But-
be any time soon.
Ain't gonna stop me from trying. He gets up and just goes, dusts himself off. Right, so I guess I'm just gonna go find the others. Jason.
Would be a smart thing to do.
Yeah,
And Jason, if there is anything that you think we should know, but you're still keeping tight-lipped about, it's gonna get close to the turning point where it's gonna be too late. Remember that.
as nice as I want to be, he is right. But I choose to trust in your friendship, even if you broke it once. When everything was going down the shitter, you chose to run with her and to save her. You have the makings of a hero. You do. And I know that you think that you're cowardly. But it's not. Courage isn't the absence fear, but it is what you do when you are afraid that makes you courageous. And even when you were trembling, trying to panic and flee, you still chose to save Sally and us. You actively chose something that is a detriment to you. You could have been free of this. Somewhere deep in your bones, there's more courage than you realize. And just puts a hand on Jason's back, pats it a few times, and then leaves the place to go look for his friends.
Okay, so you guys meet at the place you guys were supposed to meet. And I guess you head to the mining entrance.
Sure.
Okay, so Jason has let you know that you are expected at the northern mine entrance by noon. It is not hard to see. There's only 2 mining entrances, and one is at the north and one is at the south. You guys make your way there, and mostly in silence. When you arrive at the entrance to the mines, Vice Director Brock is waiting for you. To your surprise, so are about 24 other miners. But these miners do not have pickaxes or mining machinery. They are armored and armed to the teeth, looking grim, murmuring in low voices. You recognize Alan, this is Ash's father, despite the helmet, and surprisingly, Clara is here too.
So,
Brock addressed.
sorry.
Sorry, go on.
Let me just pop those pictures real quick to get the people. That's Brock. That's Clara, and that was the dad, correct?
Yep, Alan is Ash's father. There were 2 dads. One was like pro Hakim, one was anti Hakim. This was the anti Hakim one.
I just walk in, nod my head at them, and look at the others because again, I don't know what happened with the widower. So just, hey, how did y'all's thing go?
It was, I guess, okay.
Gonna go with enlightening.
I think that sending you 3 was still the right decision. I don't know. It might be one of those times that I'm seeing something in someone that might not be there, but I want to try anyways. And with y'all having the information can help me from making the mistake if I decide to make it. So.
I think there's one thing that you need to discover: the actual location of the kids.
I will do my best to do that when having a conversation with these Myconids.
I'm of the mind that they may not even have the children.
There's a chance.
So from what we've heard, but
if they've claimed to have the kids and they've seen the kids, then
that'll clear some things up.
yeah.
And they might not even have all of them. Some of them may have been taken.
Well, there's only the 2 of them.
Well, or maybe we can just ask when we get there.
Yes.
Can we see the kids?
Yeah, Barnaby's got the right idea.
We have to be open-minded about what the Myconids have to say if they're willing to parlay.
We need to be. This is a very tense situation with a lot of things happening in the background from what I've learned.
People want the mithril, people making backhanded deals, money that people cherish so dearly changing hands. There's a lot going on.
Blackmail, let's not forget the blackmail. The blackmail's fun.
That as well.
Let's get down there, yeah? And then I turn to the people who are just standing there that I'm not being secretive about any of this to.
Oh, okay. You guys are saying this in front of everyone?
Yep, Sulfur doesn't give a flying fuck.
Yep.
Alright, okay. They will give you some space, the miners. And so would have Brock. He would have waited. Brock's the one that's listening, and the others aren't really. The miners are mostly talking among themselves, but Brock doesn't say anything. He just says, ready to leave?
Yes, very. We're going to solve this fucked up situation that you're in one way or another.
He smiles grimly. I hope that is the case. And Brock will explain briefly. This is the vanguard crew of the men that we've mustered. The mine passageways are too narrow for everyone to pass through at the same time, or to hold an assembled troop, so we are going in with only seasoned volunteers that can hold their own. Less than 100 all told. The rest will join us in installments, including the director. You are going to come down with us, the first of the crew, and the rest will be waiting near the entrance to the Underdark. And if you think the war with the Myconus is inevitable, then you come back to get us, and we will set to our task.
Of course.
Please, on the subject of the children, please rescue them by stealth if you can, if you think this will come to war, because if it does come to war, then they will not survive it. But even if you can't, don't dally if you think this is going to eventually be worthless, eventually going to turn out badly, and you cannot find the ore cache. There is a time limit here, and we can accommodate them only so much.
Of course.
And do not try to fight the treant on your own. I do not mean to disparage your skills, but perhaps you might want to leave the Takim and me.
We will see what happens. There will be no promises made until we get there. How does one go? If you plan for how an egg will hatch, you'll lose every time.
Bill raises a hand.
Looks at Bill.
Oh, I just wanted to say that statement isn't true. Serious.
Oh, what do you think? Oh, what's your opinion on that matter then, Beal?
Well, I mean, like, if you plan for certain physical traits, like, and you know the parents. Oh, that's like a metaphor, not a literal statement. I'm sorry.
Just pats Beal on the head as he was waiting for them to get it.
They are the egg in this instance.
Just a nod. See, not even that metaphor went over correctly.
Alright, so while this conversation is going with Brock and you, there is a minor commotion with the miners as another person has like muscled in and is talking to some of the miners. Brock goes off to intervene in the situation. Like it's going to be about like are you guys going to wait?
No, I'm gonna walk over.
Alright. You hear if you walk over, you hear like a fierce argument going on between the miner that just muscled into the crowd, also in armor and full gear, and a couple of other miners. So the other miners saying, "You have a pregnant wife. She's 7 months. You cannot come with us. Someone has to." And he's like, "My brother was among the crew that died in the Underdark. How would I see his face in the afterlife if I don't come and avenge him?" And then Brock just walks over and actually punches him in the head.
I would like to stop Brock.
Alright?
I guess that's an athletics, which is gonna go very poorly.
Yep. Athletics. Brock is not a fighter, so you might just make it. He's a druid.
Well, I could also just step in the way and take the hit.
Whichever you like. It's going to be lower difficulty if you just take the hit.
I'll take the hit. So I'll roll athletics, but I'm taking the hit.
Okay, go on.
11.
Okay, you get it. You need a 10 for the taking the hit, 15 for the blocking the hit.
Yeah, so I just take.
So, all right. So he punches you straight in the face.
It happened to be
And
the gut. He is so small compared to me. He's a dwarf, right?
all right,
He's
right in the chest.
yeah, just if it's straight in the chest, Viridis will cough up a little blood.
Ouch! I don't think he would have hit that hard
It's not a
because
hard.
he did.
You don't know what's going on. It's not a hardness thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's actually gotten you cough like him hitting you on the chest and then you coughing up blood actually almost breaks up this fight because everyone just turns to you a little aghast, including Brock, who did not mean to that hit that hard, or you see that from the appalled look on his face.
He wipes the blood from his mouth and just goes, "It's all right," and he'll turn back to the gentleman. That's starting the fight.
You have everyone's attention because of what just happened.
I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your brother, but they are right. You are needed here. And do you think running down blindly into your death would make your brother happy? He would want you to live, not to die, not to start a war, not to cause unnecessary death on either side. If you want to make your brother proud, don't die for him, live for him. Raise your child. Make your brother proud. Don't rush to him for him to scold you.
He was about to say something, but that was good enough dialogue that I'm going to ask you to roll persuasion with an advantage.
19.
Okay, yeah, you effectively shut him up. He had like whole spiel of what, like, in defense of his actions that he was about to say, but what you said, especially the part about not rushing to his brother and also for no cause living for the child, it must have really hit him hard. So he stopped for a moment and you see his shoulders slump. You get the feeling that he hasn't really thought about this too much. This was more in like a flash of anger.
Yeah, and I'll just walk up to him and give him a light hug. Just one arm, because the other one is currently holding my chest. Just pat him on the back.
Okay. Alright. He just drops his eyes, looking a little ashamed. He says, like in a low voice, I would not have my unborn son say of me later that I have been a coward, and that is how I am alive now when all my friends, and it looks at everyone else that's gathered on the mouth of the mine.
If I have it my way, there will be no deaths anywhere today, or tomorrow, or in the next 5 years from this conflict. I will do my best to do justice down there. Your brother may have died, but there was something that happened down there that stirred them. We will figure out what happened, and we will solve it. And your people will know peace one way or another. You're not being a coward. You're being a father.
So there's actually a silence, and you realize that it's not just him. The whole crowd has fallen silent. And then he looks down and whispers, Justice. Looks at you, meets your eyes, and says, I will take your word for it. Adventures.
I
And
want to warn you that justice may not be on your side depending on what has happened. But I will do my best to figure out what actually happened. And if nothing else, I will give you peace, and you will know why.
he swallows, nods, and Brock actually gently, kind of leads him, out of the crowd and back to presumably towards the direction where his house is. You get the feeling that, the reason he threw the punch in the first place is more like, wake up, kid.
Yeah.
Do you
but-
see what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But violence can beget violence.
that is true. It could, if he had done that, I would have rolled to see if this turns into a fiasco. There would have been a chance.
Veritas will just wipe himself off, and it's probably not an insignificant amount of blood either. Zulfra and Beal are the only two that know what just happened.
Do you need healing?
No, I should be fine. What's his strength score, by the way? I'm actually subtracting this from my HP.
He's actually the strength is not really that high. It's 14.
14, so that means he did 3 damage. Which, for me
Right.
being a bard, not insignificant, but not heavy.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
If we had someone with lay on the hand that could just put points of hit dice into you, that would be nice. We don't have a paladin, so
No, we don't.
probably not
yet.
use.
We'll see what happens after I eat shit in the Underdark.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to use a spell.
Absolutely not. Save your resources.
Actually, Brock would tentatively offer you if you want some healing.
Save your resources. Magic is finite, and we've got a long day ahead of us.
Yeah, he's not impressed. Alright, so you guys are going to enter into the mines. Okay. Clara is the old lady that you met. Yeah, you remember. She's also going to go in with you guys, but she is not armed. Is not even armored. Still in her fine clothes, robes, and still look like a scholar or an official more than anything. This is what the inside of the mine looks like.
Okay. Give me a second, and I'll get that pulled up for the recording.
Yep. You all pass through the mines mostly in silence. The men are mostly of the human race, so no dark vision. Torches flicker everywhere, but shadows make the expression mostly hard to see, except for not for you guys, because you guys all have dark vision. They look pretty strange.
The one Goliath and the Jason don't have dark vision. Everybody else has got dark vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one. I think it's 120, if not longer, because Twilight.
It is absolute not quiet. I'm at least humming.
Double check
Hey.
this.
300.
Yeah, it's 300. I can see very, very far.
Oh, you can
Oh.
also give it to basically up to a number of creatures equal to your wisdom.
Yeah, but it's
modifier.
only for a small amount of time though.
Oh yeah, but it's an hour. An hour's not insignificant.
I'll likely be using that when we get into combat, so we don't have to have waving torches around.
Fair enough.
So, do any of you have any background or character history that would suggest you know anything about mine?
Mining? No.
I am a kobold.
I might have stolen some stuff from a mine once, but that's about it. So no.
Even minor, so none of you.
I could roll history if you want. I was on the mainland. I've seen a lot of shit.
Yeah, so I will let Beal and Veritas roll history then.
Also, just Beal being a kobold, they literally live in burrows.
Yeah.
We live underground.
Okay,
Uh,
then Beal gets advantage.
Yeah, I don't need
On the nature check, you
history.
said?
Yep,
History?
nature check
Oh,
actually.
nature. Okay. Well, it's the same either way for me.
Oh, yep.
8. No, doesn't look good.
Oh.
18.
Okay.
I breathe coal.
So, you all notice aquamarine threads of light in the mine walls here and there. But Bill, who has mining knowledge, you know that they are mithril deposits. But you also notice that most of them are dimmed and their light petering out, which lends credence to the claim that the mine would soon be depleted. Completely.
There's not much left in here, is there?
When you say that, Brock, who saw you inspecting the depleted deposits, nods and he says in a grim voice, "Yes. And this is the reason we were desperate enough to breach the Underdark. The reason so many of my friends had to die for. So, when you go down to the Underdark, and yet you hesitate to draw blade against the Myconids, remember that. Remember that the mine is depleting, and the Empire always takes it too."
Yeah.
Alright, Bill, also, you have mining knowledge, so your perception. Also with the advantage. Nope. Alright. Yep.
That's
Okay. You then move on to the almost depleted mining deposit. Welcome. After about half an hour of twisting labyrinthine passageways, Brock abruptly stops at the mouth of a tunnel slanting downwards, along with the rest. He says, gesturing to the opening, "Take it from here. The freehold depends on you all."
Just a nod. He'll actually take point on this if nobody else is going to stop him.
Okay, but just a second. Clara, actually, who has been silent throughout this trip, actually is going to pull Barnaby to the side.
Barnaby goes willingly.
He says in a very low voice, "Look, don't mistake me. I'm not here to fight. I'm not even here to help you or supposed to help you even." And then as she says this, she sounds very worried. And she's a lot harder to understand when she's tense because her accent, Imperial accent, is thickening under the strain. But then she says, "But no matter how this story ends, I'll have to be close by if I'm to see this through to the end. Though, old ladies like me, we've had enough of bad endings. I did not come to this frozen continent every year for the last 15 years just to have that all wasted at the last moment. So, here, take this. Might come in useful, just don't let my boss know about this." And Barnaby, you get what you recognize to be a scroll of Revivify.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right? And then she just walks away and, pretends that she hasn't even spoken to you. She was speaking in a very low voice. Low enough that even the other miners couldn't really overhear. All right.
Barnaby will
Okay.
hide away the scroll and then join the others.
All right. So you guys are going down.
Yep.
As you pass the mouth of the tunnel and descend into the Underdark, you hear almost a surreal voice echo in your mind. Gather your party before you venture forward. Sorry, you guys don't
What?
know the part to speak to.
This is gonna be a confused look from Silver as they look around for like, what the flaming fuck?
Oh god, you have no idea how many games I've played, like actual physical real life video games I've played that do that every time you forget to bring one character. Who are we forgetting? I look around, I double check, I look for Beal. Is Beal around? They're the sneaky
Checking.
one.
Yeah, check your backpacks, make sure they're in there.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're forgetting anybody. Jason, you there?
My sister is definitely there.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, just making sure you ain't randomly went off to eat somebody.
Beal does a peace sign to phase out of existence.
No! You get back here! Don't make me
They
regret teaching you how to do that.
Yeah, they locked out the server. We need to fix this.
Dude, no, Beal and I are both stupid good at stealth for no reason.
Wait.
Well, I guess I'd have to ask, how many torches are we bringing down with us?
Yes, I was just about to ask. You come down to the Underdark. Do you light torches or activate dark side?
Dark side's just always on.
Yep, dark sight for myself.
Yeah.
Torches,
I know my-
alright.
I know my sister will need a torch or a lantern though.
Yeah, that's if you want to, because if we use that, then I mean, we can always snuff it out. It's fine.
Of course. So, couple of torches for Jason and Anila. Everyone
Fuck,
is
Jason
using
needs it.
dark sight. So, according to the map that you have gotten from Brock, this pitch black passageway was supposed to lead straight to the Underdark, but less than 20 minutes in, you find a cave-in blocking your way. Please roll investigation.
Okie dokie.
You said to roll what?
Investigation.
Oh, well. I'm proficient in it, but just barely.
I am not. So let's see what we get.
16. Me and Barnaby.
7.
Okay.
There's a lot of zeros for investigation I'm seeing there.
I have a +2. I mean, a +3. Oh boy. Well.
We are not the detectives. I'm
I-
seeing from these rolls.
Don't worry, I can fix this in a level or two when I get more double.
Okay.
proficiencies.
So, Barnaby and Veritas,
Mhm.
you realize at a certain that this looks like an intentional cave-in, sabotage. None of you were above 20, so you do not. You are not sure if this was done by the Myconids or by someone else, but you do know that this is artificial.
Oh. What the-
18. I forgot.
No, you didn't get above a 20 though.
Yeah.
So, pat. Doesn't matter to me. Right. Would one of you big, strong, burly ones like to push this over?
Sure, I can.
I'm sure you'll do amazing at it. Go give it a try.
Yeah, so the cave-in is massive enough that you don't think you're going to ever get through this. But according to the map, there is another way into the Underdark. It's a disused set of tunnels that split into 3 branches, all opening into different caverns, but it has not used in some time.
So there's another
it's-
path.
another path that leads to 3 caverns. So if you make your way there, because it's very obvious you're not going to go through the cave-in, you see that the tunnels are all glowing with different colored bioluminescence. The tunnels, once they just split into 3 passages that are pretty short, so that you could just stand in the place where they are forking and look at all the exits from all the other tunnels. As you can see, the one to the left has an orange sunset glow. The middle one has the middle one has the pale white noonday glow, and the right one has midnight purple glow. Which tunnel do you choose?
I look at the map. which one does the map say leads the right way?
All of them lead to the Underdark. You're not sure why these were disused or why they were using the main tunnel. You just think it's because the main tunnel used to be bigger, but there might be some other reason for it.
I mean, I do actually have magic that could get rid of the cave-in. It just might also cause a cave-in.
You could always go back and try that route if you think you can do so.
Do you guys... Okay, look, I'm not gonna be fucking beating around the bush. Do you want to go down these obviously going to lead to some problem caves, or do you want to go back there, have me cast Shatter, and see what happens?
Shatter. I'll
Shut.
say.
Alright, you guys.
Shatter inside of a mine.
Well, it's going to hurt your ears, but if we're far enough back, it shouldn't. The only thing that it will do is put more rock there, not on top of us, if we're far enough back.
I think I'm just going to wait in this tunnel here and watch to see what happens.
Fair enough. I'll stick my head around. I can cast it from a super far distance, so... And by super far, I mean like 60 feet, so yeah. Right. So...
Right.
What this does is it is literally a thunderous explosion in a 10-foot radius sphere.
I do know what the shatter spell does. I'm going to say that it has a 30% chance of causing another cave-in on top of the cave-in.
But I'm...
And 70% chance of clearing the rock.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stay the full 60 feet back. Because if it starts another cave-in, I'm gonna start running back towards the party. But I will burn a shatter spell.
Please do so. And also, please roll 1d10.
Alright, what's bad on the d10? Tell me my chances.
1 to 3 is bad. Anything above that is good.
I hope somebody who has inspiration might like me a little bit.
I'll give you guidance.
Oh, full 10.
Oh, it is amazing that you don't have any mining knowledge, and yet you could clear this rockford so smoothly. The tunnel opens before you, and the whole Underdark stretches out before you, and it's unearthly grandeur.
Yeah, he 100% didn't believe in himself, and he's got his hands over his head, turning to run, and then looks back and goes, "Oh, I did it. Oh, hey guys, I did it."
I'm just amused because I said I'll give you guys the same time that Dilla just posted that they were giving it as well.
Guidance wouldn't have done
I know,
but it's funny.
Well, at the same time, it's just Simpling's just going yeah, you need this.
Hey, maybe it could have saved my life in the fucking athletics check I had to do to run away from the fall. But yeah, no, just comes back. Hey guys, I got the path clear.
Perfect. Now I don't have to go down into a potential ambush. Let's see what's going on there.
Right. Well. On
All
we
right.
go.
All right. So you now see the vast Underdark open up to you, and it is not hard for you to follow the map because that is this is the original tunnel, so the map is very clear. Please roll whatever skill you feel is more suitable for navigating the Underdark. But you get advantage because you start from the original tunnel. But only one person gets to roll it, the leader.
What's the roll?
Whatever you think is most suitable for navigating the Underdark. Could be survival, could be something else. Could even be history for reading the maps.
So what I'm hearing is anybody but me should be in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Should probably have one of the.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
No.
No, okay, fine. Anela.
I was joking. I was joking.
No, that was great. Oh, we're Barnaby.
Actually, wait, my I think very much in character as well. You're doing immediate instant no without even looking.
It just takes you out of the eeny, meeny, miny, mo. As soon as you say no, he just skips you. Anila, would you mind leading the way? Here's the map.
Alright, you want me to roll survival then?
That would be the
Yep,
one add
add an
advantage.
advantage.
Add advantage, man.
I
I
believe
feel
in
like,
you.
do we not want Barnaby? Because Barnaby's got like that 7 in his survival.
I mean, yeah, we could, but also...
But it's only us in the front, he
Yeah.
said.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do it. Add advantage, here we go.
add a d6 if you wanna. You have
Yeah,
bardic inspiration.
I'd guidance as well from me.
Take that d6.
And the D4 from guidance.
Already put it in there.
Oops,
did
I
that?
did the D4, but yeah, the D6 is a 2. So that's 18.
Alright, 18 is enough with the plus from the map. Though you have no northern star to guide your direction in this dark and inhospitable place, your steps are sure, Anila, perhaps with the unerring sense of the Goliaths in finding where true north is. And soon you see the tall mushroom spires of the Myconid colony looming in the distance. Please roll alertness, all of you.
Good old perception.
Yeah, sorry, I keep thinking of Vampire the Masquerade.
You were
I
fine.
thought you were thinking Pathfinder when you were saying stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I got a 9. I'm not very alert ever.
Yeah, I got a 9 as well. I think we're walking side by side at this point. With those 2 9s we both rolled.
Literally
like,
walking with you. Zolfra, your sister's really talented.
why do you think I follow? She's
Just
proven us
kiss
wrong.
Jesus.
already.
Say talented, I get an 11.
I do not understand why she
Hey.
never wanted to be the chief.
Barnaby and Jason, you are the only ones that notice before the others do. What you thought was a slab of strange-looking rock that you were passing by, or even petrified wood, has just rumbled to life behind you.
Okay, changing up the music to battle music. Okay.
As Jason?
From-
Maybe just- Go ahead.
Yeah. From this comes a deep, rumbling voice in Undercommon. On this sacred land only spore friends may tread. Do you declare yourself such, surfacers?
Barnaby replies in Undercommon.
Oh.
We are here as spore friends and negotiators on behalf of the surface dwellers.
And what business of negotiation do you have with the colony of Agarius Bisporus? Or is it that you carry the word of the Oathbreakers? If so, no pissbringer art thou. Leave. You are not welcome among us.
We wish to find out what happened. We wish to hear from all of you what happened. And we do wish to see the safety of the children. We do not take the Oathbreaker's side. we wish to hear everything that has happened so we may know better, and we hope to achieve peace between surface and under.
So the treant growls. You say you wish to listen. You say you wish peace. And yet, is it the practice of diplomats and arbiters to come bristling with blade and spear and shining armor as you all have done, smelling of fresh blood not 3 weeks past? And then he gestures at your weapons.
These
sorry.
weapons and armor are for our protection. We do not know what we would have come across down here on our way to your colony, and the blood you smell is from the hunt we were on. I went on a hunt with some animals to gather food during a long trip through the cold wasteland up above.
So, I'm going to ask you to roll persuasion.
Persuasion. 14.
14. So the treant doesn't attack right now, but it draws back its branch like bristling, as if it's just holding back from leaping at you. But as he does so, he just stops and straightens itself, and you find out the reason for it soon enough, because from an overhang, you see a faintly glowing Myconid lean down to address you. He says, "To the treant, not you guys. Oh, ancient guardian, stay your hand. Those that come in peace have always been in short supply, whether one walks in the sun or in the sussex tree's glow. But a chance for peace should not be squandered. And if these adventurers so say that these arms are for their protection and not for them assailing us, then perhaps we should hear them out." And he turns to you and says, "Strangers, now that you are under our protection and the protection of the colony of Agarius Piscaris, will you then lay down your arms? We allow no drone still within our demoscene."
Just a blink. Is this in common or an undercommon?
This one's in
Undercommon.
common.
Oh, this one's
This
in common.
one's in
Okay.
common.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
the Mycon is speaking in common, the treant in undercommon.
My weapons down.
Barnaby immediately puts down his sword, his longbow, and his quivers.
Eel will, just from underneath her cloak, just pull out a dagger and like a small kind of survival knife kind of thing, and just put them down.
Okay, so if you're going to try and hide the weapon and play for stealth.
She's not. She's like showing them as.
Oh, I
These
see.
are the only things I got. I have a Swiss Army knife and a dagger.
Just Veritas kind of sits there, and he is very hesitant to do this, but he pulls out the axe, the hand crossbow, a dagger, and a light crossbow, and a short bow, and lays all of his weapons down. He's got a lot of weapons, guys.
Must take some time.
Why do you have those? You don't hit anything with them.
I know, I'm trying my best with as many things as I can get to see if one of them eventually works out, okay? I used to wield, like, a great sword, and now I can't pick them up hardly, okay? It's...
That sounds like your dating life.
I have a question. You ask us to lay down all of our weapons. Would it be suitable if we had them bound to show we aren't having any hostile intent instead?
I would
This
prefer-
is the Underdark, and from what I understand, there are quite a lot of dangers down
Yeah,
here.
I would prefer.
Just
to,
in case.
I would prefer to keep my axe and my hand crossbow. I'll give you everything else, but that axe is.
Just defend ourselves if anything bad happened, not to
Please.
show
If
any
I-
hostility.
I'm unfortunately attached to my blood, so I can't really be completely unarmed.
If I may be speaking on behalf of the Myconids for a second, if you will all allow me,
Of course.
they have just offered protection. Means that if there is any trouble that comes for us, the Myconids will protect us. Plus, we're here as negotiators. We can't exactly show ourselves to be peaceful messengers.
That's
if
why
we're
I'm offering to
carrying
bind
weapons.
the weapon. Says,
No, he's got a point. Zolfra, trust me, if things hit the thing sideways, I'll do for you what I did when we first met. We'll find something, trust me. I'm keeping my shield. A shield is a shield. It's perfectly fine, yes?
The Myconids nods.
Okay, thank you. I'll put the rest of my stuff down.
are you just intending to leave our weapons here? Can we not just wrap them all up in a blanket and bind it with rope or something?
Oh,
At least that way, we have them with us if they're not accessible.
We will collect your weapons and they will be ready for you when you depart from the colony of Agarius Vesperus. While you are within the boundaries of the colony, you are our guests, and as such, you will have our full protection.
as long as we get them back, I'm not opposed to this. Zolfra, it might be for the best that we comply. Remember, today we are here as friends.
I am just trying to read.
I understand. I don't think this is a thing that we're going to be able to budge.
Actually, you think you could, like, if you insist, they would be okay with you just buying your weapons. It's just that it's going to have an effect on the dice rolls. So you get the feeling that this is negotiable, just at a cost.
Please, Zolfra, if I'm going to be... I want as much good favor as I can get.
Fine.
Thank you.
The warhammer thumped down with a heavy impact, the crack of stone. Then a couple of javelins follow suit.
Alright. You guys all discard. A couple of the other Myconids come out of the shadows and pick up the weapons. There is actually a flash of light, and Veritas, the axe that you just dropped, it flashes in a moment of blinding light, and there is a scream and a moment, like a smell of burnt flesh as one of the Myconids that was about to touch it, like, draw back from it, like he's been burned.
Oh dear. I apologize. That weapon is incredibly cold. It's a little finicky. You might not want to. It might be better and safer for you all if I continue to carry that.
I'm going to ask you to roll persuasion on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you probably should have warned them before all this
Well,
happened.
I wasn't. I was not aware it was going to do that.
Yep. Yeah, but the Myconids don't know that. Oh, okay, just enough. So the Treant hisses and draws back his arm, but actually the Myconid that's been burned stops the Treant, like, raising one of those, like, little appendages that's been burned as if, like, stop. And then, we'll gather up the rest of the weapons except for the axe. And then just retreat.
Yeah, I will completely bind up the axe in a bag and I'm going to stick it in Beal's bag of holding. Like, it's going to be out of sight, out of mind.
Alright. Okay. Then Myconid looking over from the overhang. He says, "By disarming, you have shown trust in us, so trust we shall render upon you in return. Our sovereign shall grant you an audience, Surfacers, Sunwalkers, Moodland ones. But know that the long shadow of the ancient defender is on you. Do not stray from the path that the redcaps mark." And he gestures with his appendage, and you realize that there's actually a lot of colorful mushrooms, and they all mark different paths that lead into the lake colony. And the treant growls, "I shall be watching." Please roll nature. Whoever's best at nature.
I'm not exactly amazing at nature, but I'd like to try anyways. But if
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Neela is probably good at this.
yeah, probably it makes sense. She's a druid. Might also be Barnaby. Anybody who's good at intelligence checks.
My nature is 0.
Oh Jesus! What is your nature there, Vanilla?
4.
Okay.
I'm proficient
Right?
in it.
Yeah.
Please roll.
Oh yeah, you are.
So I assume that's critical 20, right? Natural 20?
That's the green.
Yes.
Okay. Not only you get do you get the information that I just posted on the chat,
Okay.
you think that you remember these trails, and if like later on if needed be, you think you could perhaps like with stealth advantage follow them and find out where they all lead without getting lost or delaying on the way. So basically it's like you have the whole map of the Myconid colony open to you. It's just that you don't understand where these different colored mushrooms lead to, but you assume that it's going to lead to different important places. If this ever comes to battle or to stealth, then this will come into focus again, and it would be a great help to you.
Okay. Wonderful.
Right? Okay. So
I guess we just.
Follow the red path is what we got told to do.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
when yeah.
Do we? Are we trying to be stealthy?
No, we got told
There's
to
no
do it.
need to be, right?
Yeah, no,
No.
we're guests here right now.
Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
you follow the path and arrive at what looks like 5 freshly turned over beds of earth with a number of Myconid standing over it, and more coming in and out. Through the effects of the spores that sparkle in the air, like you feel that once you're in the colony proper, you can understand what the Myconids are telling you, and you could communicate back to them without actually having to speak any language. And through this effect, you can hear in your mind the final words that were being delivered at the freshly turned beds. They are as follows. "As we enter your ashes to the good earth that bore you and nourished you, may we be forgiven if we think of this not as a parting but as a homecoming. In being one with the land you have found peace, and all of us in time shall join you after. And from your spores new sprouts shall bloom, and in them your spirit..." Sorry, my dog. "In them your spirit will be made anew, and the colony shall be made whole again." And then there's a pause, and then as if one, all the Myconids turn to you. And just a second. And then the one that actually you immediately recognize as Sovereign, because he's like a head taller than the rest of them, telepathies to you. "You come at a sacred moment, but perhaps that is meant to be. Arbiters, what words of respect do you have for our fallen kin, who fell by those that set you?"
I pray that in the next life that they find peace and to know that whatever has happened, whatever transgression, it will be resolved in a way that shall bring peace to the colony and those that still live.
All right, that is yours. Do any of others accede to this request?
What exactly was the request?
Got any words for the fallen? Basically, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you wanna hold like a little mini eulogy for these people you don't know?
Looking over the bodies, like, what do they look like?
Well,
So
Like,
you realize they've already been burned. They're interring their ashes. This is a freshly turned bed of earth. So you don't know. Like, this has happened like 3 weeks prior, so you figure that they've already done the cremation long time ago.
not being able to see their bodies, I have no idea what spirit would be tied to them, so instead I'll give a ceremony of the storm instead. Which would basically be going through the process of gathering some ashes separate. That's kept in a bag, gently scattering them across before basically intoning. May the winds of the storm carry you forth on your next destination. May your spirits find you the right way next time.
Right, that is what you do. What about the others?
Jason will, after a moment, just kind of mutter a few words in Elvish. The translation basically being, "Be at rest," and may your spirit find its way away from any circles of the hells.
That is very depressing. You're assuming they're going to go down. Sorry,
no,
I'm just laughing.
no, they're not
Okay.
assuming they're going to hell. What they said is they hope that they avoid the hells.
Yeah.
Which, funny. Yeah. I just look at Jason kind of funny because Elvish is the only other language I got. None of my languages are on my sheet. That's fine. I'll fix it later.
Barnaby looks to Jason and says in Elvish, "That was very nice to hear you say." And then he'll look to the bodies and then speak in common. Don't usually do this sort of thing, but may your spirits find peace and happiness in the next life, and may a new life begin and stay with that peace and happiness. And he just looks at the mic and he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm bad at this."
Your honesty is not less appreciated. What about you, Anila and Bill? I think it's the only one left.
Forgive Bill if they do not speak. They are. Would you like to?
There's not much for me to say. Other than... I wish I could have met you in life. And... I hope you have a peaceful rest.
Just pat Bill on the, just on the top of the head.
Okay. And Anila?
Yeah, Neela will turn and look at the bodies and say, after a moment of taking pause, they'll think back to part of a poem. I don't know. I cannot speak, but I can listen. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon the shore, gazing at a beautiful sea, as you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me. And then just kind of step back.
I'm gonna roll something in G. I'm just gonna roll something real quick. Don't mind me.
All right. So you have all acceded to the request and said, the funeral continues as scheduled. The freshly turned over bed of earth is pounded down. There are no markers since they will return to the earth, not in terms of stone or in writing, but with new sprouts. And the King of the Myconids turn to you. And then he looks at you and he says, "Speak, arbiters. The Spore colony would hear what excuses the Oathbreakers have." And then he waves, and many of the Myconids actually move out of the way, shuffle back to whatever they were doing before this funeral ceremony. And there's just a king and you guys.
We had known a bit about the Myconids. Do I know that they're a hive mind?
From the way you've interacted with them so far, you think you have a pretty good idea that this was true, even if you did not know. You get the feeling that the first one that talked to you from the overhang, that was the king speaking through him, and not like another Myconid.
Yeah. Does anyone want to do anything before I start speaking? Because I'm very long-winded and I know how I get.
I mean,
Nope.
no. I mean, if anything, I might throw guidance at you if I need to, but that's it.
Yep.
Thank you. I love you both very much. Thank you, my guidance wizards.
I can throw
Well,
a guiding bolt at you if you want.
Hey man, listen. If you hit that guiding bolt just right, I might be erased.
I feel like the Simplies at one point is going to be like, you two at the front, guidance. We just slap two people in the back.
Yeah, no, Veritas will just kind of, bow just a tiny bit. Doesn't want to completely double over because of what happened earlier, but will walk forward.
Okay.
Just, from what we've gathered from them, you have told them that a group of miners went crazy and started killing the lot of you. Is this correct?
I would show you the scene if you are willing. That is correct.
I would like to say some more words before you do, because I do believe you.
He is listening to you.
The people above are not like you. They don't communicate as you do. Each individual person, each individual there, are not connected. They don't understand each other. They don't talk to each other on long distances. If they do not communicate verbally as I do now, they do not know what the others are doing. All of those on the surface don't know what happened and had nothing to do with it. From what I understand, they are all just as confused and hurt as you are. There are people up there who have brothers and sisters who died in the conflict and don't know why. All they want to know is why, and all they want is to continue the friendship you've built throughout many years. But to do this, they need to understand, just as I'm sure you do. I appeal to your greater kindness as you have shown us in the trust in letting us in here, to trust those that you've gotten the pleasure to know over the years, and to understand that they sought us out to come down here and talk with you instead of marching down here immediately. They worry for those that are still here, and worry for their own lives if they cannot continue their mining. without the mines, their colony will become nothing. It will be raised in fire, gone with the wind. This is not about retribution for them, it's about survival. And they sought us to come down here and be a mitigator between the two of you. A mediator between the two of you. Because it is in their hopes that they do not lose your friendship, but they do not want to die. There's a lot of people hoping, praying, and believing that this will turn out right, and that no one else has to suffer. I appeal to your mercy, your kindness, and to your hospitality.
The Myconid Sovereign looks doubtful halfway through your speech. He says, what would he say? Yeah, he's actually, you feel that, like, the spores in the air sparkle a bit, and then you feel that he's actually trying to reach into your doubts, into your mind, not necessarily to read your doubts, but to try and find out how honest you're being.
He just
You could
completely
block
open,
it if you want.
Completely open, he believes what he's saying.
Alright, so no attempt to block it?
There's no attempt to block it. He has literally nothing to hide. From what he understands, the people up there do want peace.
Alright. So this is not gonna be a contested roll. Okay. There's a long pause, longer than you're comfortable with, about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, which is a long time for a breaking conversation. And then he says slowly, "The ways of the surfacers are a puzzle to me. As you say, they are just as hurt, just as confused, just as desperate as we are, then what is the cause of all this? Why have they attacked us if this hurts them as much as it does us? Surely it is an answer that lies with your people and not mine, for your people were the ones that started all this."
Again, I would like to state that they did not know it was going to happen. The ones who attacked you, I cannot know their reasoning except for they had some. But the ones still up there, the only reason they have to fight, the only reason that they have left.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was it just the one individual that started attacking?
It was, but others soon followed suit.
Trying to defend their own in the confusion.
The individual who started the attack was not well. Many past pains clouded his mind, and he had many demons that he was fighting. It's possible that he lost that fight. And in the confusion, the other miners, trusting him over the other, you, sided with him, not knowing the demons that he lost to.
So you claim, Surfacer, that it was the demons of a single man that started all this. Even if that were so, how will you pay the Wergid then, Arbiters? How heavily are the blood of our people weighed against the freehold scale? What compensation do you offer the bereaved? What solace to the deceased?
What would you want?
It is not merely a matter of what I want, for I am sovereign, but we speak as one. There are those of my spore kin that are still calling for blood, not merely of the Surfacers, but of the fledglings that are currently with us. I have resisted it so far, for it is not the practice of our people to have saplings bleed sap for the mistakes of others. But my people's grief is my grief, and if blood is the price to pay for blood, then how could I deny them still farther?
Veridasol.
Because in their grief, their anger, their rage, blood is the only thing that they can think of. We know that the Underdark is a dangerous place. Maybe we can save some blood rather than spill it.
Is there something that you wish to propose to us? For it seems to me that you have something in mind, beyond merely negotiating with the colony.
In exchange for assisting you in something that we can handle, an outside threat to your colony down here on the Underdark, you let the children go and allow us to bring the mithril that has been already mined back to the surface.
So, when you say that, couple things happen. First of all, the Sovereign just laughs a little gutturally and says, "You are the greatest threat to our colony so far. None ever since the pact of 15 years ago has been sealed. None have attacked us. None have spilled our blood, other than the people you stand for, Arbiters." And
just a pat on Bill's shoulder. That was a good try. And I will walk forward.
yeah, but there's another one thing that he also says, and then he actually pauses, looks at all of you, and then says, slightly in a different voice, a little bit questioning, "And you speak of not only the fledglings, but of Mithril. And that's your question."
The
Yes.
That the other were. Sorry.
I'm assuming you know of Mithril. That's the key of your former arrangement with the surface rollers.
When you mentioned the Mithrils, I'm going to ask you guys to roll insight, but it's gonna be at a disadvantage because it's hard to read a hive mind.
Fair.
All of us are.
Everyone who's listening in can roll it if they're curious.
I need to BRB real quick.
Yeah, disadvantage is gonna mess me up on this.
Oh, I forgot to put it at disadvantage. Never mind. I said it's an 18 at disadvantage.
Okay. So there is a Barnaby. You realize this when most others don't. So there's a moment of hesitation, a little bit of surprise in the Sovereign's voice, as if he's asking, "What Mithril ore?"
Well, they told us upon coming down that your hostages were not just the little ones, but also mithril ore that you supposedly took. Did you not take any of the mithril ore?
Oh, add that like understanding downs. As much as understanding it ever down in like a mushroom hive mind.
Mm.
And then he says slowly, "You mean the weapons?"
Weapons.
Yes, the ones that you have given us to protect until such time as you will have need of it again. Is that why you have come down here? Are the fledglings just an excuse then? The time has come, hasn't it?
No. We, ourselves, we care most about the fledglings. Some of the surface dwellers said we to gather the little ones, the fledglings, and also the mithril ore, but we were assuming it was ore, not weapons. Might I take a peek at everything you took? I will only look just to confirm for myself.
And what would you offer us for this? We have already let you into our colony. We have heard your words and your appeals so far, and yet you have not offered us anything for the respect that we have shown you.
You wish to go,
No,
Veritas?
it is fine. You go first, and I will follow up after.
They asked us to negotiate as a third party. If the things you took were not ore but weapons, along with the children, then they have lied to us. They have told us that if we do not return with the ore and children, they are ready to fight, and we want to stop that from happening.
You're going to tell them that, look, just a second, I'm just making sure out of the
Yep.
game as GM, you're going to tell them that like the humans are planning to go to war on them. This is an important story decision, so I need to be absolutely sure.
Yeah, that if we don't return with the hostages with the ore they claim that the Myconauts took, and the children, that they're willing to go to war for them, and that Barnaby is saying we don't want war to happen.
Yeah, it's. I just. Oh boy.
Right.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
This just made my job a lot harder.
All right. Great. Okay, so that is what you say. Continue on. Sorry for interruption.
You're fine.
We want to stop them. We do not want them to go to war. We do not want more innocent lives to be lost. I am not asking you to immediately give up what you have taken. I just want to see if what they told us, amongst other things, was a lie. And we can continue to talk and to negotiate. And if need be, I am willing to let myself stay as a hostage for, at the very least, the children to return back to their families.
You should know that the decision of war is far from finalized. There is a lot of disagreement amongst those on the surface.
Bill, I'm going to need you to roll persuasion at a disadvantage. Like halfway through Barnaby's words, like the sparkles in the spore sparkles in the air start flying as if the hive mind is in a flux. There's a lot of communication in the air, and while the mushroom, like the myconid that stands before you, is pretty much unreadable,
If you got
there is. Sorry, what do you get?
if anybody's got an inspiration, now's the time to fucking use it.
I'm gonna use mine.
Right.
Take a d6 also.
Yeah, and guidance.
Yeah.
D4 and D6.
So a total of 25.
Okay, at a disadvantage.
Well,
You guys are so lucky.
He had inspiration.
Yes,
This wasn't look. This is using everything we had to force it to succeed.
You guys are so lucky because the difficulty was 25.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would
Okay.
just admit to their face, hey, we're going to go to war to you if you did do
Yeah,
what we
Jesus
want.
fuck.
Yep, Beal.
Fucking shit. Barnaby!
No, I totally understand what Barnaby was
Oh, yeah.
striving for, but
It's
the
just-
Myconids were like,
Yeah, no, literally was like, hey, yeah, no, they're getting ready to fucking come shoot you. Everybody in the room's eyes open wide, mouths drop. Jesus.
This is,
Alright.
this is like being in a hostage situation. They're just like, hey, we've got a sniper ready to shoot you if you don't give us the kids. We don't want you to be shot, but come on.
Oh, fuck.
okay. Alright, so at that, all the spores flying in the air almost become calm and drift down into the bottom of the cavern as if things are quietening down again and there's a moment of calm. But you and a lot of you who have been holding your breath, you release them very slowly. You realize that you were just an inch away from this becoming a full-blown war.
Yeah. Veritas had every bit of confidence in Beal.
Okay.
That's my daughter.
All right. Okay, so will you let the Myconid Sovereign speak, or do you have something to say, Veritas?
You ask what we offer in turn. You said that blood was shed on your side. You too have shed blood. Were the number of deaths on your side greater than the number of deaths on theirs? He looks up because this is Myconids are being a little selfish, but the humans are too, so he's trying to mediate that a little bit. Just mitigate it.
Yep, actually, you make a very good point, because he shakes his head and says, no, we were 5 in number. They were 12.
So you are asking us to compensate more than what was lost when they've already lost so much. Not only this, but is not the friendship you've shared throughout the years for these 15 years. Not worth salvaging, not worth saving. Your people have been with these people for many years. This is one incident, one tragedy. Are you going to let one moment of a sick man and confused people ruin 15 years of good standing, of good friendship?
He seems to think for a moment, and then he says slowly, "Then, in respect for the argument that you make us, for they are sound, and in understanding that we too have shed blood as they have shed ours, I will offer you this, and you may take this, or you may return. We do not have proof yet of your argument that this was the actions of one sick man and nothing else has intervened in how he has massacred our people. If you would find out for us, reveal the truth of this matter for all to see, both our people and yours, and so put this matter at rest, we would perhaps seal it, and we may go on as we always were. But should you fail in this, and should all this, the truth of this matter, be buried in the dark, then so must our alliance with the surface people, and we return to embrace our respective colony, never to talk no more. Will you take on this task then, adventurers? Will you bring us back the truth?"
I just look at the team.
Of course we will.
May we make a request?
Speak, Surfacer. I am listening. We are listening.
I understand that you will likely keep the fledglings under your care for the time being. Insurance and a chance to speak with them would be beneficial to further the pursuit of peace.
He actually nods at that. He says, "I will convey to you the memory of what we know about the encounter, and afterwards you may talk to the fledglings. Is this acceptable to you? But once you have done so, you must leave our colony and not come back unless you have the truth of this matter."
He will look at Viridus.
He just kind of sighs. I still think that the kids should go home. You still have something else that they want. But the children's safety should be assured. If you were to send the children home, it would be the greatest sign of good faith on their end that you are listening. It would give us a lot more to barter with on your behalf if you were to do that much. And I will guarantee you that we will leave and not come back until we've solved this. We need those children to be able to go home before anything else.
Alright, roll persuasion.
I'm assuming I got guidance on that. Maybe not. Depends on one of the two fuckers.
I mean, it's concentration for a minute, so.
Oh, then I still got it. Never mind. It's gonna be above a 20. Almost guaranteed.
Nat 1. Nat
That's
1.
22.
Well, okay.
22, but you make a good. There's a moment of silence, and then he says, and yet, if you venture into the Underdark with much danger, then do you plan to take these children with us? Just as we would not wish them to be destroyed inadvertently while under your care.
We would take them home first, and then continue through.
He actually seems to hesitate, like standing on a knife's balance, looks at the ones that haven't spoken so far, and he says, I see that at least some of you are silver-tongued, and yet perhaps sometimes more blunt honesty is what I require. Do you have nothing to say further on this matter? And then he's going to look at Anila and Zlofras and Jason, the ones that haven't spoken much so far.
That's fair.
All I can say is the young are the next generation, but the greed of adults desire the other items you want more than the children that have done no wrong.
In other words, even if you give the kids back, they still have something that the others want. Meaning you still have leverage.
And the children again have done no wrong to you. You're holding innocent, who are no doubt in not a good situation, down here in the dark, away from those that would care to bring them up to adults.
And Anila and Jason, do you say anything?
I mean, that's all first just kind of said what I was gonna say, so.
So nothing from Jason?
I
Anila?
don't think Anila will say anything out of fear that it'll instigate any wrong representation of what we want. I think just mostly as long as the kids are safe, that's what Anila's going for. So if this is what we got to do, then this is what we got to do.
All right, then if only one of you have spoken, you haven't passed the 25 threshold. So the Myconid Sovereign says, you may take the youngest, but not the girl, for 12 is when our people come of age, and this fledgling is past that. What?
But you know she isn't your kind. Your argument is branding her as one of your own, knowing she is different. She is not of age for her people. The argument does not work.
When this situation is resolved, I'm sure you would return the girl as well, yes?
We will, should this be resolved. Though the prospect seems far at the moment.
It would be cruel to separate the two friends. And he is correct. They are not of your kin. They are not but children of the humans. I'm only 6. And yet I'm an adult.
And yet none of you are their people except for you, and that actually turns to Jason. So then the judgment must rest with you then. Are they still children and saplings and worthy of our protection, or are they minors and adults in their own right?
In our society, especially from where I come, they are children. not workers, not people to shoot at. Although one person needs to get that through their skull.
And yet they have come here to work, and I have seen younger work under the mines before, in the Underdark.
That's because they were forced to do so.
Not by those that we are going to give them to, their parents. Rather, the situation is complicated. And
They are only down here out of desperation.
yes,
They
without
sorry.
the metal, they aren't able to achieve something that, if they promise, or at least their leader promised to another, and retribution will fall upon them if they fail to meet the agreement.
The Mycon is over his eyes, and it looks like he has come to a decision. He says, "You ask much of us, and yet you tell me that your leader has lied to you, has lied to us, is
They are
preparing
not
for war,
our leader.
those
And
that you represent. And yet, someone, in order for there to be peace, someone has to make the gesture. So we will. You may take the children, but you will swear to us that once they are taken to safety, you will come back and you will do this task that you have promised that you will do for us, and you will find the truth."
I do believe Barnaby already offered to stay. But if it is anything, two prisoners exchanged, we will both stay so that our compatriots can take the children home, and then they will have to come back to get us.
"That is acceptable," he says.
I just kneel down to Bill. You need to make sure that those kids feel safe and happy, okay? One of them is going to try to pet you. Do not bite them, please.
I don't like this idea.
Say what?
I don't like this idea.
I know. But it'll only be for, what, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours? Also, the mushroom people seem nice. And reasonable. More reasonable than some people I've talked to recently. Do you think that I should go back and do some more talking?
Time we learn the truth. And I see no reason why the Myconids would lie. But there's plenty of reasons for it. Stay safe.
You know I will, there, Bill. You are my... Well, I've got a lot to live for. And you've still got a lot to learn. But you just learned so well. And just pats her head. So, Anila, please take care of Bill for me in my absence. Zolfra, make sure they don't get eaten. Jason, stay safe. For the love of God, stay safe, Jason. I worry about you.
Nervous thumbs up.
They're going to be gone for like 30 minutes. What are you making this like a big thing?
It's not even been a minute.
Oh, I know.
Actually, it's gonna be like a couple of hours.
Yeah, its travel time was glossed over, but I knew it wasn't 30 minutes.
Barnaby still says it's, like, it's only going to be 30 minutes. It's not like we're leaving for years.
Oh, I know. Plus, gives me time to work on some music. Or chat with you. Either way, Barnaby. You're always really fun to talk to. He just
Let's
smiles.
wait until they're gone first.
Of course. He just kind of sighs. Can you take us to the children then?
All right, but you guys did all promise to the Myconid sovereign that you would find out the truth of the matter. So he's still going to show you the vision of what he knows of the truth of the matter.
Okay.
So would you?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mhm.
And then he will take you to the children. Just a
Okay. Let me just get this pulled open.
right. This is what you see in the vision. So in your mind, you see a vision of a twisting labyrinthine tunnel opening into a motionless lake. What looks like a mining expedition and 5 Myconids climb onto the boat. The person driving it suddenly stops as mist starts rising from the lake, and he's wide-eyed and staring into nothing. But he's not just the only one that's staring into nothing. Some of the Myconids, most of the miners, all of them seem transfixed, confused, almost awestruck. As some of the ones there's not awestruck crowd against the person driving the boat, trying to figure out why, and then he just whips back and brings his pickaxe straight down on the nearest Myconids, cleaves him in half, and then he's screaming something. You cannot make it out because this is kind of a fuzzy image. And after that, it's chaos. The boat rocks. Some people are just leaping into the water. Some are fighting against each other. The boat overturns, spilling everyone into the water. The water is actually not that deep, even though the lake seems very blue, glowing, and wide. And you see the boat tumble into the water and sink along with the person that was driving the boat. And then silence resumes a bit. Some of the people try to swim their way out of the lake, succeed. You see 2 ragged children that you recognize from the pictures drag themselves to the shore, shivering. Then you see from behind a rock by the lake shore pop up a tiny Myconid sapling sprout, barely as tall as your knees, peeking and then scurrying away. From the sensation carried by the spores, there is a distinct sense of terror infusing this memory, and you think that this memory is the one that's brought back by the sprout.
I would like to ask a question.
Okay?
When these people started attacking, like, it was after the mist and they stared into the water, did only people start attacking immediately, or did some of the Myconids start fighting also? Because some
The
of the
one that
Myconids looked into the water.
So you just saw this recording once, so it's hard for you to be sure. You know that the one that the leader of the expedition was the one that started the violence, and then all of them started fighting each other. You don't know if the Myconids would have acted first if they were a second faster, but you do know that he was the one that started this first.
In this instance, I want you to know this is quite clear to Veritas because this is his magic specialty. It's enchantment.
Oh.
It's enchantment magic. It's mind control. That's Veritas' specialty. Out of all of his magic, 95% of it is enchantment magic.
Honestly, I was getting the same thing out of character.
Yeah.
So they looked in the water and instantly went crazy. That is not a natural ship.
Bane, enchantment, dissonant whispers, enchantment, sleep, enchantment, silvery barbs, enchantment, silent image is an illusion.
Yep, I've got some
hold
enchantment
person,
spells as
enchantment.
well.
Yeah, no, but
Hold person and
I also have
sleep,
hold
I've got them as well.
person. You
It's-
got your whole spell list, my guy.
I know.
Just I have to pick. Verdus is a trickster by nature, and just immediately that instantly is like, oh, that's mind control. Oh, that's bad. Just out loud too.
Yep.
Just, oh, that's really bad. Oh, that's really bad.
But was it
Here
the
it is, stay away
waters
from
or
water.
it's something else that caused it?
It was literally, they stared into the water and the mist. Come on, Zulfra. This isn't even that guy's fault. It wasn't even his well, it probably didn't help.
As far as the Myconids are concerned, it was his fault.
Oh, I'm aware, but just out loud, it's like, that's obviously mind control. It's enchantment magic. I do it constantly.
Why don't... How about you and I see if we can get
Temple.
the
You
Myconid...
guys are remaining here. Is
I
there
know,
You can
yeah,
do that while we're
so-
heading.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Me and him can go check out the waters of the Myconids would allow while you two escort the children.
Yeah, that would probably be for the best.
All right, so what's your decision? Are you going to go take the children?
The rest of the group is. Verdus and Bill are gonna look at the Myconids and go, hey, we kind of want to go check out that water. Can you take us there?
They will actually shake their head, and the Myconid Sovereign said, if you wish to move through the Underdark, we do not venture much out of the boundaries of our colony. It is best that you wait until your colleagues come back.
Okay. Alright.
Nor is it the practice of our people to venture into that lake. It was the request of the surfacers that we lead them to that place and see what came of it.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, from the way he says this, it looks like it was a practice for a long time for them to not venture near this lake.
Yeah, now we kind of know why. Guts. It just, man, couldn't wait 4 levels for me to get counter charm, could ya? You know, that one ability that's basically useless.
All right, so actually, you guys are going to be led to the children, and then afterwards, you two are going to remain behind. The ones that the others can take the children. To end this with the interview with the children. So you're going to follow the white saffron milk caps, the one which you understand is white, that is the one that's leading to children because they're sweet and they're nutritious. And they're bright colored, just the kind of mushroom that the children likes. And you actually come, when the Myconids lead you to where the children are, it's a small building, and inside you actually hear laughter.
Oh, that's right.
And the door is half open. And through it, you actually see the little Myconid sprout, the one that's actually from the vision that brought back the vision, making little magical illusions out of sparkles and spores, and both of the children are clapping and laughing. You don't see any ropes or binds or anything like that. The door isn't even locked.
Yeah, we kind of figured they weren't really being kept here in bad conditions. We kind of figured they were just under the Myconid's protection.
Are we waiting on something?
No, just if you guys want to go on in and get them, I can, real quick, Beal.
Yeah.
When you get up there, I trust you to use your best judgment. alert them that something had mind controlled their people to cause this accident, and we're looking into it. But the Myconids have agreed to the terms as long as we figure out what happened and what caused their people to go berserk. But tell them that I told you it was enchantment magic, almost guaranteed. Okay?
Okay.
Just remember that, because that is very big. That's a big calling card of something devious.
Don't
Okay, so
put yourself at risk.
Of course not.
You're gonna put yourself at risk anyways.
Yeah, of course. We're gonna stay here.
Children, it's time to go home to your parents.
when you open the door, like children jumps. None of them have seen like many of your kind before. I think Rebecca's seen one Goliath like from a distance. They actually shy away and hide behind the Myconid sapling. The Myconid sprout like just goes like, steps in front of them as if like trying to protect them, which is like really funny because it's so small.
Oh,
Anelia, please deal with this. I do not deal well with this kind of situation.
Ash starts crying. He's so scared.
Oh boy.
just
Yeah,
Neil was
Anelia.
just gonna pull out the teddy bear.
Why do they always do that? I don't understand.
I just put a hand on Sulfur's shoulder and just like, you're going to make a very interesting parent if you ever get that far.
All right. So he actually quickly stops crying when he notices the teddy bear. Hesitantly approaches you, snatches the teddy bear from your paws and hugs him and says, "Fluffy."
You stole the kid's teddy bear?
No, their dad gave it to me.
Ah, that makes more sense. I wondered where you got that from.
Oh, my dad sent you?
They both miss you very, very much, and they asked us to bring you back up.
Oh, do they know what happened?
That's something we're working on figuring out.
Did you see anything weird in the water?
Yeah, he actually hesitates. And then he goes and sticks close to the Myconid sapling and Rebecca, and he rubs his eyes as if he doesn't want to say it.
It's okay. I understand.
And then,
it's scary, but we're here to help.
yeah, he says, "But I heard Mommy, and she was lying to us again, just beyond the mist. And I cried because I didn't have my Fluffy here, and also because this time I knew it was a lie. Back then, if I knew, I wouldn't have let her go like this. I would have followed her, even into the waters. But, I didn't, because I know what my mom is like. My papa said she's always with me when my heart beats, and that warm feeling I have when my heart beats, that's her. So that really wasn't Mom. And then, I knew this, and then when I realized this, the mist was gone, and the waves are foaming, and they were red. and he shudders and then buries his head like in under the like arms of the Myconid sapling, and the Myconid sapling goes like pat on the like child's like back.
I turn to my
Uh,
daughter.
Deal is kind of biting her finger, trying not to cry.
Yeah, because that's sad. That's real sad. Veritas looks up to the older child and just. Did you see anything else? Anything at all?
She sighs and says, and then she's older, so she kind of like has more appreciation of the whole situation, and that she's a hostage in the way that the younger child doesn't. So she sighs and says, "You really need this information, don't you? It's part of your deal to get us out of here."
Just a nod.
I had a brother, not much older than Ash here. He said, my mom left him with me. We went to go swimming in the stream. It was summer, a lot of river swelling. And it was a long time ago, but here in the lake, I heard him. I saw him again. And he was on the lake, and he said it was so cold in the frozen waters. He said, "Come get me. Just beyond the curved edges of the boat is where I am." So I went, but there wasn't him. There was just the water. And then I realized that he was gone, but little Ash here, he was still here and he was alive, and someone had to take care of him. So managed to pull him out of the lake. Don't remember much afterwards. No, I do remember. I just don't want to talk about it. There was I'm sorry.
We know about the fight. Is there anything else other than the fight? Anything at all?
It was just... I was looking into the water. There was something so transfixing about it, something so beautiful. And then I realized... I'm actually going to roll a die to see if she realized this. No, she says, I had the split second, and maybe it was an understanding, maybe it was a lie, that I was back in the past and that I could make a different choice. What I regret the most, what I wish to change the most in my life. Right now, right here, it was the time, it was the opportunity to change it. Only if I dared to step into the waters. That was what I felt. Maybe it was a lie. But I think a lot of people listened to it. And that was how this all happened.
Unfortunately, I think it was a lie. Okay.
I think I knew that. It's just that when you're so consumed by regret, you can't really let go of the doubt that just one time, if you could just go back to that moment, things would all have been different. I think whatever it is that I saw in the water preys on that. And then she stops speaking.
Just put a hand on her shoulder. Well, it's over now, and you get to go home. And when you do go home, make sure to tell people that it's not the Myconid's fault. if you do this, you may save a lot of lives. Make sure that you're vocal about it, because there's a lot of people just looking for a reason. But if you go up there and are vocal, you, the child who survived, and tell about how kind they were to you and how much they looked after you after the fact, you might be able to change people's hearts.
Rebecca nods, and even though she's just 12, she looks older. She has an expression that's older than her years. She says, I understand the gravity of the situation. I would make sure that they understand this, and I think my father would help me get the point across. And then Ash actually pipes up, and then she says, yeah, the Myconids were nice, but the food was really bad. They kept bringing us fungi and saying like really good stuff. And then the Myconid sprout is like proudly showing you all the fungi that like he had collected for the children.
I
That
will,
stuff does go good when you boil it and dry it out a little bit.
I chuckle and I hand the kid a ration because it's gonna be 3 hours, and honestly, Bear just likes mushrooms, so.
Yeah, the Myconid sprout flinches at the sound of boiling, and he will telepathy to all of you. You know, but that destroys all the nutrients and the taste.
Just kind of chuckle. Then I will have a few of your mushrooms without boiling them. I like mushrooms.
He will proudly hand you like his secret cache. It like you get the feeling from the sport telepathy that he's sending you that he saved them all for his own school lunches. Like the best bits, you know, the equivalent of sausages.
Yeah, I got you.
Just for the children.
Oh, and he'll just sit down and he'll give the ration to the children. Just go, look back at the group. I've asked my piece, and the rest of you are, well, I don't think there's a group of people that I trust more in the world. Which is really funny to be saying a second time, but meaning it a second time. See you guys in a few hours. And he'll sit down and play with the mushroom because I need to get up and use the bathroom.
Okay. Oh, that is
Might not be a
it.
bad time to end the session.
I am going to end the session here. I'm going to say that you guys, except for the two of you, the rest will come back with the children to the mouth of the Underdark, and we will pick up from where we left off next session. Is that okay with all of you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Works for me.
That works for me.
All
What
right.
would I say if I said
Great.
no?
I'd ask you then, what's your opinion? How should we finish this?
I think Jason needs to be thrown into the pond.
All right.
You
So
gotta feed the eagle off.
the guys, think since you guys are all going to be sailing on the lake in the next session, think of what scene with your like most regretted in your life, because it's going to come up next session. All right. That is it. Session end.
Oh, he went to potty. I don't know if he's ended the recording yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, we can wait a bit, I guess.
Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna bounce. I'll see you.
See ya.
Good night.
Have a good night.
See you, man.
Oh, this is so hard.
Apparently, while I was gone, they ended session, so, end of recording. Finger guns. Bye, everybody.